seconds while you dream. Alive, never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums roar. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door. Take up the cause.
On our end, but we fixed them now, and you can hear the wonderful voices of myself and the less wonderful voice of Andy. I'm just kidding, I love Andy. Yeah, Andy, I mean, we've been watching a pretty good hardpoint so far between Los Pepes and Mavericks. Of course, we were the only ones who got to watch it, but it was pretty good.
Well, it was pretty wonderful until you insulted me, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're gonna. It's all right. We're fine. Look, we have indeed had a great contest here. Battle of Spain, one of those contests that we talk about quite a lot, and a lot of scrapping over those money hills, as you would expect. But when it comes to the big ones, when it comes to the place where you can sink a bit of time in, Pepe's have been there first a lot, and Fusion showing exactly why they're in the lead. Some great stuff out of him, and it has currently been decided by who's playing better on that AR side. You can see that there's SMGs across the field struggling. Shorty, for example, not off to the greatest of starts, but generally speaking, a very good game, and we've still got plenty to go.
Yeah, for sure. Los Pepes, they may have given themselves a lead so far, but Mavericks, not a team that you can ever really count out in a game of hardpoint. Just a reminder to you guys at home, of course, we did kind of mention this all in the preamble already between Los Pepes and Mavericks, so it kind of feels a little bit like Groundhog Day for us here on the casting desk. But nonetheless, some important things to note here. Los Pepes, they have an 8-4 record overall in hardpoint. It's by far and away their best game mode. Statistically speaking, I think they're actually one of the best hardpoint teams we have here in Europe. So this is a map that they should win. They didn't last time around, though, when they faced off against Mavericks.
They didn't know, and they did go down 3-0 in that series. They've come out with much more fire this time around. You see everything light up red. It's another good circulation out of them. They continue to rack up any sort of scrap time. I feel like on these hills, especially like P3, where most teams aren't on it at all, anytime you can get is a little golden nugget there for you. And you can see already that you've got Ku and Abuza taking control of that northern lane and already thinking, okay, we can go into the next one plenty ahead. So great stuff out of them. Is going to be a bit of a scrap here as Vickle gets himself onto the point. And just like that, it's no longer in the hand of Pepe's. It is for Mavericks, and you called it right. You can never count them out.
No, you absolutely can't. They are going to get controlled here of the crate's hard point, so Los Pepe is going to have to find their way on through. Abuser, I mean, that's a pretty good way to start that break. He's able to pick up 2 kills, immediately clears the hard point, and while Super and Sukri are able to pick up a couple of kills between them, Mavericks, realistically speaking at the moment, they do get pushed out of the hard point, now got to find their way in. But to be fair to Mavericks, they're able to just somehow find some hope straight away. Sukri and Super again just get some more kills there. Mavericks, though, still, I get the feeling at the moment here, Andy, they're not quite able to get an iron fist over the hard point.
They aren't, and it seems to be the same kind of story almost every hard point. Pepe's get in early, Mavericks have to break, and then Mavericks don't hold. And in the only cases where they do seem to get any chunk of time, it's because Pepe's have given it up. The gunny's hot out of Pepe's. You can see it. Fusion looks like he'll probably break 30 this game. Abuza is already past that point, so they're very, very hot right now, and probably explains why they are such a good hard point team. And it's the same situation again. They're in early. It's on Mavericks to break.
I don't like that play coming in from Eric Boom. You may as well commit to the gunfight, right? To try and make your way into the hard point, then try and take the second. He decides against it. Not the best play, individually speaking, from Eric Boom there, but he is at least able to get into the hard point now. Or I believe it's actually Super who's managed to find his way in, but Los Pepes. Every single time it feels like Mavericks are able to get some kind of space inside the hard point, it immediately dissipates. Los Pepes able to get control once again, and with 20 seconds shy of victory here, Mavericks, they kind of need to find something pretty quickly, but every single gunfight is just not going their way. They're just spawning in the back here, Andy, but still, it's not looking great.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I really love about this Los Pepes side. You know, Mavericks aren't playing particularly badly. If you look across the team, they're doing okay individually, but Pepes just have this really well-drilled fundamental side, and it just seems to, like, put them through on the hard points all the time. If Fusion actually comes out and wins a ridiculous gunfight there, this game's pretty much wrapped up, and great.
But they still didn't win it. This time around, Los Pepes. And once again, able to start the knockout bracket in the right way. They get it done. So 1-0 currently to Mavericks, or to Los Pepes, sorry. And they're already doing better than they did in their last engagement, Andy. But what a first map from them.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I mentioned it just a moment ago, but I'll bring it up again. On that fundamental side, they clearly do a lot of time watching VODs, learning, improving. They are obviously a relative newcomer to this level of challenges this season. They've started to flourish towards the back end of the year. That's fine. That happens. And I do think that when you see those teams that flourish later on in the year, it's because they've spent a lot of time figuring out their roles, figuring out the fundamental parts of the game. And you can see that in their play here because, I mean, every hill, Brody, they were there first. They were there. They knew how to control the spawns, push Mavericks back. And, well, when you execute it as well as they do, then it makes Call of Duty very, very easy.
Yeah, absolutely does. What a great first hard point coming out there from Los Pepes. Of course, Abuser having a great game in game number one. Actually, a highlight overall from what we saw from him in stage 4 so far during the regular season. And once again, he's pulling that through to the first match of the knockout bracket. Let's take a look at our map set, though, for this series so we can finally discuss it with you guys in just a second. Of course, we just saw Checkmate Hardpoint to kick off the series. We're going to a standoff for map number 2. I could not be more excited, Andy. Do you know how long I've wanted to cast a standoff for in this game? Not that long, obviously, because it hasn't been out that long. But since it first came out, I really wanted to do one. And here we are. We're going to do it.
Yeah, well, this is the point now where teams should have some kind of strategy. This is no longer that period where everyone practices it and no one puts it into official matches because, I mean, maybe at pro level, Atlanta FaZe can afford to throw something away, but at challenger level, no one can afford to throw a map away. It is too damn close. So here we go. We get a standoff finally, and it's a great map. I don't know it particularly brilliantly because a lot of you guys are going to be like, yeah, we played it loads back in the day. I was in college and didn't do as much playing on it, but from what I have done, it is a fantastic map, especially for S&D, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of tactics teams pull out because there are many, many options.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this is a bit of a weird pick, I think, overall in the series. I'm not exactly sure who picked it, of course. The vetoes are generally done outside of the chat that we have with the players, so we don't actually know who picked and banned what. But I imagine that if this was a Los Pepes pick, it's a pretty ingenious one, I will say that much. Now, just to kind of set the stage here for you guys at home, statistically speaking, Los Pepes are the worst search and destroy team we have here in European Challenges in Stage 4. They finished the regular season 2-7. That's in contrast to Mavericks Gaming, who actually finished as the second best team in search and destroy in Europe at 7-4. So by all means, this should be a Mavericks win here in map number 2. But of course, we are going to stand off search and destroy. It is, as you kind of alluded to already here, Andy, a pretty fresh map in everybody's mind, especially with how young the players are here across the board. You've got to think Eric Boom and Vickle are like 18. They're fresh. They did not play this game back in 2012. They have no idea how standoff played back then. So, ingenious pick if it was from Los Pepes. Let's see how they end up playing it right off the gate here, though. I can't actually speak English. Mavericks decide to hit mid. They go straight towards Brown, and it almost works out as Vickle picks up 2.
Yeah, they do. He actually performed a bit of a miracle play there for a second. Gets his third. Abusa's going to know where he is, but is he being baited in here?
That's such a smart play from Abuser. Suckery's going to get the first shots though, and that's just going to scare Abuser away in this situation. You don't want to take this fight unnecessarily. I also kind of like this from Suckery overall, just going for a reposition. Trying to play ring around Rosie, and this is one of the best bits about standoff, is just how big this map is, the amount of moves you can make on it, and look at Suckery's position here, Andy.
This could be a brilliant read. He will indeed cross. Oh, he missed the shot!
Oh! No! Suckery, you're a maniac! What are you doing?
Oh no! 200 IQ read, 10 IQ gunny.
So Boozy's got him. He's got him, surely. No? Alright, never mind. Take it away, Andy. I'm speaking rubbish.
Honestly, I don't know what's going on either. The plane ring Rosie, this mid-building is currently just having laps run around it. Boozy's going to check the bomb, nothing giving. Actually, has it planted awkwardly? They're finally going to run into each other, and Abuser comes out on top. And honestly, there, Suckery is not going to want to watch that one back. I don't know if it's shaky leg or we got a strong breeze at that exact moment. Either way, not one for his highlight reel.
Suckery can do better. I'll say that much. We've seen Suckery in the past. He's one of the best ARs here. We have a European Call of Duty. He could absolutely do better. Unfortunately, he's not going to do it there, though. 1v1 is going to be taken by Los Pepes in round number 1. Maverick's going to take this bomb. We'll see where they end up going with it. For now, they're on the defense. Los Pepes deciding to go for a strong presence over towards A.
I think that Los Pepes clearly have some kind of strategies here in mind. No idea obviously how much practice they've both got, but they have a couple of ideas. Early first blood will be traded out. Fusion will get that onto the board. 3v2 scenario for Los Pepes, and the bomb in the middle of nowhere as well. That could be huge.
You see some clutch moments coming out here from Suckery and Vickle, and well, the latter unfortunately failed to do that. So this is all on Suckery now. Got to check the corner as soon as he swings around it. No, Torres just better in that situation, able to lay down the bomb and win out. I'm kind of surprised there, actually, that Los Pepes were able to win that round. You think all the pressure they had over towards the B bomb site. I think they had one player sitting in Grandma's on the A defense, and for whatever reason, just doesn't work out for Mavericks. Or for Los Pepes, sorry.
Yeah, no, Trotty was just waiting around, seeing if anything came about, and all of a sudden, it just ended up in this horrible scenario for Mavericks, and you've got to be wondering, we are obviously at a big moment. Is it affecting them, Brody? Nice and early.
I don't know. This team, look, and Los Pepes, I think if it was affecting anybody, it would be affecting Los Pepes, right? I mean, you look at the sort of the inexperience on this roster, the fact that they're here alone is, I'd say, pretty good for this squad, right? A Challengers Elite squad that could well make their way into playoffs. Of course, that's a conversation for the next round of play. But still, Mavericks should be no stranger to situations such as these. Seems like a bit of a deadlock here, though, to begin this round, Andy.
I'm just gonna play in that little bit of a standoff, bit of checkers, bit of trying to suss each other out and figure out where everyone is. I do realize the pun I just made.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was it would have it was I didn't think it was intentional.
Fusion just managed to kill himself with a trophy, and then a blood does come through, so we're even again 3 apiece, and this is where the gunfights get hot and heavy, Brody, because bombs going down wins our final 20 seconds.
Los Pepes in the better position here. Vickle finds himself in a 1 versus 2. He spotted out Traudy, of course. Traudy will have seen him as well. And now it's a case of how quickly do you make this work. You've got to do this fast if you're Vickle, because now you've given enough time for Traudy to make his way over to help, or Torres to help Traudy out. And now it's just a matter of who blinks first. It's got to be Vickle in the situation. He does, and well, he doesn't have 2 guns. He can't dual wield. He can't shoot in 2 different directions. He cannot win that 1 versus 2.
This is that fundamental discipline side of Los Pepes that they've come into this stage with that kind of, I think, has surprised everybody that we continue to talk about, right? Like, Trotty's just throwing shoulders. I don't need to come to you. I don't need to do anything. You've got to come here. A lot of players will challenge that, whether experienced or inexperienced. And he just bides the time, waits, lets his teammate get in, cleans it up. 3-0 lead looking very good for it. And again, we're going to see a big B move from Mavericks. A lot of A defensive pressure from Pepe's.
You can deal with Traudy. This whole situation isn't all that terrible, right? Yeah, right. You've got Abuser in the power position. Not anymore. Super annihilates him off the tank. And now Mavericks with the advantage. Now, as I said, you do really need to take out Traudy from this situation on the bottom left. If they know that he's there, they should be okay to get this bomb down. It's a matter of whether or not they do. And they do.
Yeah, I don't know if they will have spotted him the round before, but they read that one like a book. Torres is going to pick up 2, though, and this makes it a 1v2 for Torres. Would have to get the ace in order to pull this one back, and bomb isn't down just yet. Gonna get red, though, and that is him going down. Mavericks managed to put 1 on the board at least. It got scary there for just a second. It looked like they might end up having a timing situation go against them, but it works out, and great shots like that out of Sukri are exactly why.
And something we've seen Mavericks in the past play like, right? We know that they're a very aggressive squad generally, and even an AR player like Sukri, you can kind of see it there in his final kill cam, able to sort of zone the map correctly, move up when he needed to, and position himself properly with the aggression to finish off the round. We need to see that more out of Mavericks at the moment. That kind of tenacious play that has worked so well in the past for them. We'll see whether or not they're able to kick it up a notch going forward in the search and destroy. Currently down 3-1. Los Pepe's with the bomb. And look at this. This is what I'm talking about coming out from Mavericks. Straight into the petrol station. How much gas do they have in the tank? Well, Eric Boom is able to draw first blood. There is a trade in, so that should slow down this push significantly. And it does. It actually sends Mavericks into reverse drive here. They go straight back to their spawn in the mid-map.
Yeah, I don't think they saw that coming. All of a sudden, that call out in chat must have been very, very loud. The entire team are right in front of me. But that being said, for all the special play that Mavericks gave and all the map control that they do have, we are even on the board. And we know from the size of this map and the way that it plays that a numbers advantage here is huge. So whoever gets that next blood, if you feel like a first blood, if you will, could be very, very important. And brown hit coming in from Pepe's. Looks like we're going to B.
You gotta deal with Eric Boom here. If you can get rid of Eric Boom, this becomes a much more manageable situation, but here's the player sitting inside courtyard. Abuser simply doesn't see him. Eric Boom able to get 1, able to get 2, and now it is literally just Torres left on his lonesome. He does pick up Eric, but of course that kill is going to alert Sukri and Vikal as to where he is. They aren't 100% sure. Well, now they are. Sukri's seen him, so this round should be done and dusted, and there it is.
Yeah, fantastic patience out of Mavericks. Great plays out of Eric Boom. We're going to get to see it back, actually. This first one, I mean, this one's just a boozer doesn't see him, but this second one, I'm not sure how much of a right he has to win it. Traudy should know he's coming, and he hits every single bullet. Fantastic stuff from the young man. We've spoken about him a lot. He's had a relatively slow start to this series, but he is a star man on this side. Has been fantastic pretty much all year, and we expect to see plays like that coming out of him, and he does indeed deliver. Speaking of individuals, though, Torres 8-3 to start this one. Fantastic stuff.
Great performance coming out of Torres, of course, from Los Pepe's. For the moment, they still do have an advantage, but round by round, it is reducing. That is a lovely Semtex coming in from Torres to take out Vikal. Mavericks already at a disadvantage here. They do have one advantage, though. They've got control of the site for the moment.
They do, and they could do with buying a little bit of time here. It isn't going to happen, though, because Eric Boom is going to be traded out immediately. Super's going to have to get creative. He gets the first, and if he gets out of his life, that is huge. Okay, does indeed. Oh, wait. Oh. Never mind.
I thought for a second Super was going to get away, but Torres takes him down. And that would have actually been a pretty manageable situation, right? Because he could have joined forces with Sukri, and now it's Sukri kind of just playing to his advantage, which is effective. They didn't know where he was. He's able to get that first kill. Torres has already decided at that point he doesn't want any part of that situation. He trusts his teammate to zone out Grandmas. And now he is all on his lonesome in a 1-versus-1 versus Sukri. They're about to butt heads over on the site. Who blinks first? Sukri going to come out the corner, but Torres with a pre-aim knows where Sukri's going to come from. And that right there, another round for Los Pepe's here. They are able to stabilize.
Yeah, this here was a huge moment. If Super gets away, Sukri's on the flank, they don't know where he is. That becomes a very, as you called it, manageable situation where they can just collapse on Los Pepe's players, isolate them. Instead, Torres does a fantastic job, as he has all the way through this game, really, really putting his team on his back. Not that they're doing badly, but he is just really shining right now. And me. Mavericks dropping the bomb in a bad place yet again, and it coming back to bite them in the ass, Brody.
Los Pepes have the bomb this time around, right? So where do they want to take it? They still haven't quite decided just yet, even though they are leaning towards A. And now, I'm not really sure how much of a say they have in it. Eric Boom's able to pick up 2. There is a trade from behind. Fusion will take down Eric Boom. And every single time that Mavericks seem to get an advantage in their favor, Los Pepes are able to flip the chessboard around. And now it's Mavericks who might find themselves within checkmate. Sukri gets 1, almost turns around for the second. It's not to be. Los Pepes now on map point, and they are beating the odds here like Logan Paul.
Oh dear. Oh
I'm
dear.
kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. That was terrible. That was like really. That was low hanging fruit. That was like touching the ground fruit. I'm sorry, guys.
Anyway, moving forward, yeah, no, I think that you're right, though, with that moment where every time Maverick seems to have that advantage, Pepe's close in on it. There's so much teamwork coming out of Pepe's. Every time there's a gunfight, another one is immediately upon it. Not the same with Mavericks right now, and we usually associate this side with some fantastic chemistry, and it just isn't happening right now. At 5-2 down, it's either a huge comeback from here, or Pepe's take a 2-0 lead. Bomb down early, though, a great way to show your intentions.
Good move out from Mavericks, and this again, it's this decisiveness that I really wanted to see coming out of them. It's here, present in round number 8, and they have the numbers to make this work. Now, I mean, Los Pepes, round after round, they seem to come back from these untenable situations, and well, there is one round that it might not be so great for Los Pepes. I think if you're Torres in this situation, try and do what damage you can and get the hell out, and there it is, to be fair. 1 kill, walking away from that situation, it's not terrible.
It's not. Torres continues to just show that he's got plenty in the tank in this series. Some great shots out of Sukri. I'm not sure what else we're going to get to see here. Maybe just some button punching? No, okay. So, yeah, it's just that needed to happen there, I feel. Mavericks need to reassert themselves somehow in this series and just saying, okay, let's just hit something and bully our way in and show the kind of side that we are. It's great stuff. They need to do it 3 more times, though. Pepes have the bomb, and they get to dictate where it goes from here. And Mavericks are kind of going to have to play an all-or-nothing kind of strategy for me. And these 2-2 splits, they're risking being overwhelmed. And you only allowed that once, Brody, because otherwise you lose the game.
Well, good news for Mavericks. They are able to draw first blood once again here. Sukri takes down Abuser, and now Los Pepes, I guess their path into the B-bomb site is somewhat narrower than it once was. Torres could hold the key to opening it up a little bit wider. He's now just going to back away. Traudy, there's no way he gets this bomb down, right? There is simply no way.
Commando crawls, maybe? You got to expect someone to be around tank, though, right?
I hope somebody's watching it. I'm going to be having words with Mavericks if they let this bomb go down. Look, guys, there's no way Traudy should be doing this. Fusion's able to draw that blood onto Eric. Traudy really is, I guess, the nuclear weapon in this situation. Okay. Almost dysfunctional Luke there, as he does pick up 1. Fusion left in a 1 versus 2. Super over the wall, able to take him out. I mean, that is a situation that, frankly, Mavericks shouldn't be finding themselves in the first place. They just don't let Traudy through at all in any reasonable situation.
I think a little bit of timing there goes Traudy's way, and that's game over. Like, he actually makes a kind of huge play. I fully expected him to just try and put the bomb down, and instead he pushes straight through Kebab and out through the back. And if that timing is just a fraction better, that is horrible for Mavericks. You are completely right. I don't know what they were doing. They had no cover on anything. They get away with the scare there, and 2 more rounds to go to complete the comeback. Big A hit.
This is what I want to see. Again, the aggression coming out from Mavericks doesn't work out this time, though, and it doesn't. Traudy or Torres able to get 1. Fusion's able to get another. Los Pepes completely shut down this Mavericks attack, and now we need to see something special out of Sukri and Super Hit. They are duo for this Mavericks lineup. That will give them advantage to try and take some of these gunfights from the long range. But still, this is a horrendous situation to be in to try and save the game.
It is 2v4, and you know that Torres is still up as well. The man's been shooting nuclears out to the end of his weapon so far this series. And very, very well. The thing is, well, the bomb is down, and I'm assuming they know that because they haven't moved.
Yeah, they know that. Well aware of that fact. It's literally at the moment, it's Super and Sukri just trying to dip and dive where they can, and well, that doesn't help. Sukri's left up in a 1 versus 4. The call have been made to Traudy that that's where he is, and Sukri's actually going to end up getting that kill regardless. And I do like this play from Los Pepes. They're not resting on the laurels. They decided to move up the map to try and pick off this final kill. In doing so, they have given a little bit of breathing room to Sukri. I'm not entirely sure if Los Pepes are aware that this bomb is down. It doesn't matter anyway. There's just simply no time. I thought Sukri was going to try and make this happen. You may as well go for a Hail Mary play. Obviously, that's not in the question anymore. Los Pepes able to win the search and destroy. They beat the odds. 2-7 in search and destroy coming into this map. And, well, a victory against Mavericks on a map that I said, as we came into this series, Andy, I said, if this is their pick, this is an ingenious pick because it's a map where you could absolutely throw Mavericks off, and they didn't look stable at all.
No, they didn't. You were right. You throw in that kind of Russian roulette pick, see where it lands. Maybe it falls in your favor. And I've got to say as well, from Los Pepes, they maybe could have made that even more dominant. They looked really good. Again, they have some fraction moments go their way, and that's a really, really good result. And if you're Mavericks right now, you've got to be questioning what is going on because look, it was a tied situation for all of these teams that are in this playoff situation. So it's an incredibly close group, that's for sure. But if you are Mavericks, you are expecting to come out on top. You are expecting to be a part of the next stage and try and fight for a championship. And you really don't want to be 2-0 down immediately, especially, again, against a side like Los Pepes, who just look fundamentally really, really sound. However, I do think that there's a little bit of a shining light here, and that is that I don't think that the Mavericks SMGs have gotten into it yet, right? When user was shouting Eric Boom's praises, hasn't happened so far this series. Up next, Control Garrison, perhaps a place where he can get involved in the mixer, make it a bit more scrappy, and turn it on its head.
Yeah, let's take a look at the map set. I mean, you've already mentioned the map that we're going to go to next, so we may as well preview the rest of the series here to show you guys sort of the path to victory, I suppose, for Mavericks. It is a path they're going to have to walk pretty lightly on. Of course, Garrison Control, as you've already mentioned, that is up next in our series. Moscow Hardpoint and Express Search and Destroy, if we do go the distance. And honestly, I'll say at the moment, it does feel like a big if. The way that Mavericks are playing this series, I don't know really what's going on. It just feels like Los Pepes are able to beat them out at every single turn. On hardpoint particularly, Los Pepes felt like they were having the final say in the majority of the hardpoints. Mavericks, they didn't really seem as cohesive as they normally are. I'm not too sure what's going wrong with Mavericks at the moment, but not having such a good go of things overall. Just to give you guys an update on what's going on in our other series at the moment. There is, yes, another series going on, by the way. I probably should say that. It's the Originals versus Amelia Straits, as is always the case, of course. The fact we've got 4 teams here playing in our double elimination knockout bracket. We do have another winners round 1 match going on at the same time. Of course, that is the Originals versus Amelia Straits, and that's currently 1-1 over in that series. I believe it was 250 to 248 in favor of Amelia Straits in map number 1, 6-4 to the Originals in map number 2. We'll keep you guys updated on what's going on for the remainder of that series. We could also switch over to it as well, which we will be doing if this series does end up to it in a 3-0, because our wonderful observing team, we're capable of that. We can stick another observer in that match. We can have it ready for you guys in just a second after this quick 3-0 potentially anyway. Yeah, back to this match anyway, Andy. Mavericks, Los Pepes overall here. And it would be, I think, for Mavericks, a massive blow for them to have to go down to the lower bracket here, right, against a squad that they 3-0'd in the round robin stage.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it's always difficult to predict the way that these things are going to go, but last time out, Mavericks were very, very comfortable against Los Pepes, and sometimes some teams just work out better against the other play styles, maybe preferred tactics not matching up. And I just don't know which way to take this. Do we look at Pepe's and say, okay, they've gone back over the VODs. What didn't work against this side? What do we need to apply differently? Or are Mavericks just not on it right now? I'm really struggling to kind of weigh that up. But one of the things I will say is clearly some very smart decisions when it comes to that standoff decision, as you have alluded to. But I mean, overall, I got to give credit where it's due. People like Torres putting up huge numbers, performing really well.
Torres was a standout player right in stage 3 as well with Pushing Gaming. He was actually one of the sort of the lights in the darkness, as it were, for a roster that maybe felt like they were in the darkness for a very long time, finishing 7th in that pool. So yeah, Torres, he definitely deserves some praise considering he's transferred from that squad to this Los Pepes roster, of course, retaining a spot in Challengers Elite going into stage number 4. And for sure, you're absolutely right, Andy. He is a really good player on this Los Pepes roster, and maybe can carry his team to victory here in Garrison control, although I suspect it's going to be the SMGs that shine much brighter here. We're going to be looking at Fusion and Traudy for this Los Pepes roster. But you've already spoken about it, Andy. We need to see the SMG duo, Spain's own, Tiny Terrors in Eric Boom and Vickle. Can they get it done here on Garrison?
Well, if they're going to have to get off to a flying start because momentum is obviously a very important thing. And I love this immediately onto the A point from Mavericks. They're flying at it. They're going to put some immediate question marks into Los Pepes around strategy and decision making. And immediately about that man you highlighted, Vickle gets a 2-piece. One tick already, second nearly comes through, and this is the start we wanted to see.
I believe we have a picture available, obviously, for what's going on with our other series at the moment. That's, of course, Amelia Strays versus Originals. As I've already pointed out, currently 1-1 in the series. They're about to start their control over on Raid. Again, we will have that for you guys if this map ends pretty quickly. For Mavericks, though, at the moment, they won't want that to happen. Or if it does happen, to be fair, they'll want it in their favor. They're currently getting control of the point. Some nice kills going their way, but Fusion's able to do some damage to the offensive line. We'll have to back away for the moment, but look at this aggression from Super. This is the aggression we wanted to see out of this Mavericks roster, and it looks like they're going to cap B straight away.
Yeah, this is exactly what needed to happen for them. They all of a sudden, Pepes are just reminded, hang on a second, you are the newcomers to this stage and you need to respect the quality that we possess. And that question mark continues to build as Eric Boom's just going to do a massive wrap. Traudy's trying to find where everyone's coming from. Not really quite sure. Never mind, Pepes stop the bleeding for just a second and they do find Super. So what was a panic situation for just a moment there is reset. They go again, but there's a lot of time for Mavericks.
There is, right? And that's the key thing here. If you're Mavericks, you need to take your time on every single hit. Don't do anything irrational. Just make sure you do this as a team, because that, generally speaking, is where Mavericks work best. When they're working as a unit, they hit stuff as a 4-man. And here it goes from Mavericks. They've already got Super and Eric Boom on the point. It's Vickle in the backline winning a crucial duel with Traudy. We'll end up winning that gunfight, but now you have Super and Eric Boom. And what I was gonna say, bit of a dodgy situation. Eric Boom, though, picks up 2, and now Fusion, in what was a power position, now feels like he's in the danger zone, has to try and perform a miracle here. Obviously not going to get it done. We'll hold off Torres and Abuser, though, for the moment, but it's not enough. Mavericks able to get that done, and I've got a feeling that Eric Boom's 2-piece there had a massive part to play.
Yeah, we're going to get to see it here, and this is absolutely 200 IQ. Fantastic play. This is the Eric Boom that we expected to see coming into the series. Makes that smart decision. I'm going to get off the point here. I'm going to push out and give my teammates as much time to arrive as possible, and he goes a step further than that, wins all 3 gunfights, and quite frankly, again, just reminding Los Pepes, I'm the star SMG in this series. I'm going to decide how this goes. Fantastic stuff from him, and suddenly, Mavericks do have a foot in this series, Brody.
Indeed, they do. This is a good starting point for Mavericks, and of course massive because they do end up winning an offensive round on Garrison that is effectively as rare as a unicorn. So Mavericks doing pretty well off the start here. We'll see whether or not Los Pepes are able to come out with just as vivacious of a response. Vickle is going to get taken down over towards B, so this should be an opening right out of the gate here for Los Pepes.
It should, and relatively uncontested. I think Mavericks are just looking to stop that counterplay, right? They knew what worked for them. All Pepe is going to copy. They didn't. And oh, that stick comes through, I believe. I swear we just saw a stick happen and then no one died from it. I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, B will come in. They're going to have a lot of time come through and they're going to be up 2 minutes 18 to hit A. And it's a difficult site to break, but that much time is indeed huge if you want to break it.
And I'm kind of curious here what Mavericks do on the defense, because we've seen teams with relatively weak defenses in the past, and that's generally speaking how you're able to break onto A pretty much right out of the gate, and we are seeing that here potentially. I mean, Eric Boom is all on his own, but to be fair, if you leave anybody on their own over here, it's Eric Boom. He's no longer a minor. He's 18 years old. He can go where he likes on his own without any guardians around him, as he's able to pick up 2, make it like 4 on a spree now, in control of green. Lost Pepes have to find their way around the small giant that is Eric Boom. How do you do it? Well, Fusion wants to go straight towards it, and, well, a bit of a rational play. Eric Boom! Oh my god, he was 1 kill away from a streak there. We didn't get to see it from his POV. I am 99% sure that he just turned on score.
Yeah, I'm also 99% sure that he has no right winning that gunfight. This man is good right now. He's feeling it. His teammates are also trying to get involved. Super's 10 and 5. Not to glaze over him for a second, because he's also putting in the business. And this is what they needed. Push Pepe's back. Fine, you've got all that time, but we're going to tell you that you need to win these gunfights. We're going to force you to beat us on quality. And right now, Mavericks have all the answers, as Pepe's are just going to get funneled here into this little bit of a spawn trap. It's a horrible place to be in, and they do get a couple of kills, so they are going to be able to push out, but it's a long way. 45 seconds and no A progress, Brody. Long round.
And if you get rid of Vickle, I mean, this is a manageable situation, but Vickle just does enough here so the Mavericks can get right back to where they were, spawn trapping Lost Pepes. And realistically speaking, Lost Pepes, they have run out of time here, realistically, to do anything. I mean, Mavericks are just entrenched in this spawn trap. Look at this from Sukri, playing the ammo extremely perfectly. Every single kill effectively just going Maverick's way. They could maybe get out of this fire dark. They need to perform Miracle. I mean, Traudy needs to perform Miracle right now. He's the only player who could do anything. He's able to get 1. He actually gets 2. And now Traudy, if he makes the sprint over towards A, this is possible, but I don't think it's going to be. Realistically speaking, I don't think they just want to feed Mavericks anymore. That right there, in my mind, Andy, is a pretty perfect defensive play coming out from Mavericks. Yes, they lost A straight away, or B straight away, but as soon as that happened, they went right into defensive mode.
Yeah, no, it's that fine line between genius and madness, right? If they give up B immediately and then they get absolutely hammered at A, they look stupid for it. Instead, the defense is absolutely spot on. I will say that again, there's a big moment from Eric Boom in top green, because if he loses that, God knows which way this round goes. But from there on, they punished Lost Pepes on every single mistake they make. And you were right to bring up Vickle. He's just playing it. I know it's not a nice term and not a lot of people like it, but it's ratty, and it just disrupts any sort of attack plan there that Pepe's had. We go into this 3rd round, and momentum continues to build for Mavericks. Attack rounds are difficult, but they did it last time.
See if Mavericks are able to get it done this time around. Once again, Super is going to be key. He's able to pick up 1 kill. Has to deal with Fusion and Torres inside office. And if you're Super at the moment, realistically speaking, you're just trying to play your life, be a nuisance to this Lost Pepe side, to frantically at this point just trying to find anybody from the Maverick side they can take down. They do not want to lose control of B early on. And to be fair, Andy, this is not such a bad start from Lost Pepes.
No, it isn't. They're doing well. Torres there, they can get cut down, and that should give B control to this Maverick side. They've only stuck 1 player on. I'm kind of surprised by this. There's some reinforcements will arrive, but there could be a contest come through. It's fine. Traudy will go down, and a little bit of progress coming in for Mavericks, who continue to need to make this B push happen, because if that doesn't come through there, suddenly time starts to become a question. Top green control and everything. Yeah, it's not too bad from Pepe's, but that will be B. And on to A, minute 52. No top green control. And yeah, Mavericks looking really hot. Pepe's, lot to do.
Well, good news for Lost Pepes here is they do have a foothold over a satellite on A. So theoretically speaking, Abusers should be able to handle all the pressure coming from the front. However, the majority of the pressure, of course, is coming in from behind. Eric Boom and Sukri going to combine for 2. Sukri's still in the back line. If he's able to win this one, it will be huge. And Traudy's going to lose that fight. That's huge. Should create a 2v1 on the point. As long as Sukri's able to regen in time, they'll hit this together. What does Abuser do? Well, he picks up 1, has the help now from Torres as well. But again, this is what I meant, right? Mavericks, they just had the numbers in that particular situation to get onto the point. But now it's Lost Pepes who have the numbers right back. Fusion and Traudy, not all that concerned. Able to regain control without too many losses. And now from Mavericks, well, as Vickle goes down, back to square 1.
Yeah, that was a good reset from Pepe's there. They made sure they got together, hit it as a squad, and then refused to give Mavericks the time to get the rest of their team in. Great stuff. Gives them that opportunity to just deflect another 1 or 2 attacks. But they are still going to need to deflect them because it's a whole minute and lives are level. So you've got to be good here still. This round's far from over. And you can see a top green hit coming through.
It doesn't work out. Fusion and Torres able to combine for 2 once again. This duo of Spanish players and Los Pepes, they have the answer every time Mavericks ask the question. How many more questions can Mavericks realistically ask here in this round? You've got 35 seconds left on the clock from them to make this one work. Los Pepes have positioned themselves perfectly on the defense. They've got 4 more lives overall here. And I think from Mavericks, they've kind of worked out, well, one more question is all they have left to ask in this one. Can they get it done? And here it goes from the squad. Sukri's able to pick up 1. Eric Boone with another one. Mavericks here. The collapse is coming in. It's a 4 versus 2. Traudy able to pick up 1, though. Not the second. And once again, I mean, this is all on Fusion inside the point. If he can survive, he will be able to clutch this one up for Los Pepes. Sukri is going to get that kill. And now it is Mavericks on the point.
Oh, and Sukri lands on the grenade. That could be unfortunate. Torres gets the first. He gets the second. Absolutely no right to win that. What was that?
Oh, Torres. That's clinical.
That is disgusting.
Well, that is a round that Los Pepes needed to win. And I will say there, Andy, from what you and I saw, that was a very good defensive hold from them. Every single time that Mavericks got close, they were denied.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's very easy as well in this map in particular because you don't want to lose defensive rounds because they're rare as a unicorn, as you brought up before. It's very easy to panic, right? You're like, oh God, we can't lose this. Let's get bodies across quickly. But multiple times they set themselves up and they knocked them back. And it was a fantastic showing. The problem that they have is that they've already lost 1 attack round. So now, sorry, 1 defensive round. So now they have to win this attack round. And Fusion's going to catch a grenade between his teeth.
This needs to be a good start from Mavericks. I'll tell you what, Vickle, he's going to make it a pretty good start. He picks up 1. Going to assist the second as Super closes up shop. And now Mavericks here. This is the setup they had against Los Pepes before. That time around, though, B had already fallen by the wayside. Los Pepes had already put another 60 seconds on the clock. Can they get out? Fusion, to be fair, doing a great job at just dipping and diving between all kind of crevices of the map. Mavericks do end up dealing with him, though. And if you're Los Pepes in this situation, you have Mavericks kind of pinning you into a spawn trap. How do you get out?
I think Torres' position here is really interesting because if he just gets up and over into top green, he's got A control. Instead, he's lingering around, looking for someone to kill, maybe trying to get his teammates out, but just go and hit A. Go to A. Torres, go to A. He's lingering around. No one's picked him up. Nothing. But this is ineffectual. This means nothing if he doesn't move the Mavericks defense around. He's going to do nothing. He's going to fall for a freebie. And as great as he's been this series, that is an absolute drop ball for sure.
That's like getting a get out of jail free card and giving it to your dog. I literally, I don't know what he's just done. Oh boy, Mavericks.
Not sure what you're doing with your Monopoly set, Brody, but I would not be feeding my dog Monopoly cards.
My guy, my dog is she's aggressive, okay? And I don't mean that as in sort of the regular, like, sort of, gnashing your teeth, gnarling at everything and anything. Although she does do that every so often, every time the post is delivered. But, if there was a Monopoly card on the side, she would absolutely take it. And, I think, if anything there, the difference was that Torres in that situation just willingly gave it to the dog. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
I didn't want the card. I didn't want it. I want to stay in jail. The jail, of course, being the spawn trap. I don't care. I didn't want to get out. And what kind of confuses me is, as a player like Torres, who has played, I think in this lobby, I would say maybe Sukri is the only other player that has played for as long as he has in this lobby. Could be correct. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. But like in this lobby, he, out of anybody, knows that at some point, if you're just sitting in that position, as long as Mavericks are doing their job correctly and they're counting heads, it doesn't take a genius to realize, hang on, guys, we've been killing everybody but Torres for the last, 45 to 50 seconds. He is somewhere in our spawn, and we will turn around and kill him. The inaction from Torres is just, incredulous to me. I don't get it. But anyway, we won't focus on the one misplay too much. Obviously, you know, we don't want to knock the guy. Mistakes are made every so often. It happens. We will move on to, generally speaking, the reasons why Los Pepes are able to, Mavericks are able to win that map. Because, you know, for all intents and purposes, we look over at the control from the last time these guys played. It was yet again another 3-0 there. So Mavericks, they seem pretty good at this control, hey?
They are, and I can't remember what the map was last time out, but we spoke about it just before the game about how Garrison is something that could indeed suit that SMG duo. You saw, you know, Eric Boom, Vickle, they're not only really good at defending those fights when they are taken to them from the front, but they get into some like really ratty positions. They just play in a way that just makes it so that Los Pepes, every time they're trying to come out of their attack, they're like, we've got to check every corner and make sure we've killed everyone and cleaned everything, because otherwise it's horrible for them.
Yeah, it was really well played on the defense overall from Mavericks. And I will say Los Pepes, they did have that one good defensive round, which was incredible, and Mavericks just couldn't break the deadlock. So there is some hope there from Los Pepes. Unfortunately, that hope has been distinguished, and we'll be going to a map number 4 in this series. Let's take a look, though, at our other series going on at the moment. We promised you guys that we take a look at it. It's going to be Emilia Strays versus the Originals. Now, I believe this is either in map 3 or map 4. I'm not entirely sure what the exact situation with it is. So it is actually still going to be in map number 3 here. We're in round number 5 here.
We are, and you can see that there's a lot of gunfights going down already. There's 2 ticks coming at A. They're now starting to put pressure on both sides, and this is going to make Originals question everything. We've got to put ourselves in the best position to deal with multiple fronts. That will be enough to clear out B, but A will come in, and Chaxter, who's on 39 kills, by the way, ridiculous engagement amount, is going to bring it in. 1 minute 55 on the clock. This is going to be a good round, Brody.
It is, and they've already got 1 tick of progression over towards B. So, I mean, you could do this in 1 hit if you're Emilia Strays. You just have to make it a good one. And we saw their squad, their teamwork being a reason for their success over in stage number 3, of course, where they did end up winning. But the Originals, a team that's been together for a very long time here, I believe since the very beginning of the season, that core 3 of Hawkey, Rafi, and Grad, well, this is actually their grudge match against Wardy, who, of course, left them for this Emilia Strays roster. They win this series. It would be a huge, I think, overall for them, not just in the knockout bracket, but just those bragging rights, really, overall. And, I'm not sure what's happened there between Emilia Strays and Originals. I presume we have the old scan and repair coming in. Not entirely sure what happened there, but it happens every so often. But we'll be keeping you guys updated on what goes on with that map. Of course, a very tense conclusion to the control in what was already a pretty tense series, right? It was 2 rounds in the search and destroy to separate them, 2 points in the hard point. That series is going to be a banger. Hopefully it goes to map 5, so we have something to cast over after this series.
Yeah, no, I certainly hope so. As you said, there's a lot of bragging rights there. There's a lot of, you can see the amount of intensity. I mean, you've got, Chaxter was on 39 kills. You had Grad, I think it was, over 40. So altogether, there's a lot going on there. A lot of huge moments, no doubt. And hopefully we get to see them later on.
Absolutely. Well, while that series is still going, we hope anyway. Unfortunately, our observer kind of disconnected from the Cold War server, so I hope and everybody else in that lobby did not. Otherwise, that would create an awkward situation there with that round 5. Let's take a look at ourselves here with Mavericks versus Los Pepes, of course. Los Pepes, they started this series extremely strongly with a 2-0 start. I'd say indomitable scorelines in the search and destroy and the hard point. Now, though, it's time for a hard point once again. Let's see if Mavericks can even up the odds.
And everything's going to hit here straight at the front. A lot of gunfights going to go down. Altogether, though, a lot of people staying up. There's damage, but there's no deaths. And you're going to see that Vickle is actually considering P2 already. Everyone who's played this map knows how important it is. The thought spawn's going to come in for Fusion and Traudy, so they should be aware. Hang on a minute, we've missed someone. There's a player here that's gotten behind us, and Vickle here could go absolutely huge because his team now have got a free entry to P2 from Street.
He does have an AK-74U, so not the best weapon for this situation. I think he kind of want to take these fights from the stairs, and that is the call made. Traudy going to fall. Fusion has been spotted out by Vickle as well. Should be able to get that kill, and he does. Great plays coming out from Vickle. Torres, though, will have the last say. Unfortunately for Torres, his teammates have already spawned out in Narnia, so he's going to have to clutch up a little bit more here. Sukri, yeah, brilliant play coming in from Sukri, able to win that one-on-one. Will secure the spawns for Los Pepes, or for this Maverick side, sorry. And now Mavericks hit in control of the hill. They're in control of the map. Let's see how they hold it.
I'm not sure what happened there for a second, but I'm pretty sure someone just got span on it, Globe, which would have been a huge opportunity to try and get in nice and early, but there's about to be a big hit here, Brody. This is going to be huge.
It is indeed, and there's the first kill coming in from Shorty, the second in from Abuser. I mean, Maverick should spawn in the back line. Actually, they won't here. Brilliant spawns coming out from... for Los Pepes, I should say. And, well, as I say it, all that hope is pretty quickly distinguished as, well, Los Pepes going to lose control of the hard point. Mavericks will end up in that scrap time. And now if you're Los Pepes, you normally in this situation go and focus on their rotation. Mavericks have already snuck somebody past the 50-yard line for those spawns, but it doesn't work out. They do get snuffed out. And now these spawns should be in favor of Los Pepes.
I do apologize. Just realized I've been saying the team names the wrong way around. And Fusion is going to get him. I actually love this from Fusion. Get aggressive through escalators because you know where this attack's likely coming from, and he's going to be behind everyone. Gets two. The third is going to be Vickle, who's in a very difficult position. All four go down for Mavericks. Los Pepes defend this one on the first wave.
I think the fact that Fusion stays alive there is nothing short of a miracle, really. He should be dead. By all accounts, he should be absolutely dead. There is still hope here for Mavericks, though, as they want to enter the hard point. I was going to say there is hope, but I don't know for how much longer. Realistically speaking, I think with 20 seconds left here, you give up this time, you go over towards Boulevard Hardpoint to try and secure a full 60 over there. This time, we'll be giving away to Los Pepes, as they've had a solid start to this game. And now it's going to be all about the break. Fusion likely going to go for a wraparound through Globe. Nope, he's going to go straight to gold here. Obviously, already got Torres and Abuser waiting for this one. Los Pepes going to try and break this as Mavericks. They have the early time. First kill coming in from Super. He's going to back away. We'll get traded off. Fusion and Torres. There it is. The kill's coming through. What a break early on here from Los Pepes. You could see them winding up through what was just a great break.
Yeah, I was about to say, actually, that one of this hill in particular, the start of the year, wow, some great shots out of Fusion, fair enough. At the start of the year, this hill, this P4 was horrible. A lot of teams didn't know how to fight on it. It was just constantly scrappy, usually left quite open, very contesty. But over the year, teams have gotten much better. They tend to set up very wide, get themselves as informational as possible, and play on the pivot. Mavericks did everything correctly, and Pepe still bullied their way in. So great stuff out of them. They hold on to a 30-point lead as we go into our second set of rotations. It might be even better yet. And we go back to war, Brody, as both teams are about to clash in this mid side with Mavericks look really still needing to find that dominant footstep that they probably had in the control.
Yeah, I mean, they need to find their rhythm really here, right? For Mavericks, something isn't clicking at the moment as a squad. They're not really hitting stuff together. Mavericks, on the other hand, they seem to be edging them out, at least in that particular category of play. We'll see whether or not they're able to get control of the hard point, though, for the moment, as it is going to be... Or, sorry, Los Pepes seem to be edging down the play. I've just realized that the team name thing the room around, it's very confusing for us here on the casting desk sometimes. We'll get over it, though. Don't you worry, guys. It is going to be Los Pepes in the lead for the moment. To get control of the hill, Torres is going to have to hold on out here, and he won't be able to. So now with 25 seconds left, you have a situation here where Mavericks, they have the opportunity to get the scrap time, and they have the spawns for nuke.
Yeah, 100%. This becomes that question. Do you, as Mavericks, do you try and punch your way through the middle, or do you set up for a big, wide hit? And to be honest, none of that matters if you start to see the gunfights go against you. So Vickle's going to happily waste a little bit of time here. That 2 seconds is going to mean nothing. The thing is, where does he spawn? Okay, so the spawn does come through for Vickle. They were deep enough, were Mavericks. So this now becomes a case for Los Pepes where they've got to clear things out. And again, gunfight's just not going their way. However, this might be the opportunity to get something going through apartments.
There's indeed nice kills coming out here from Torres. He's able to pick up one. It is, of course, a trade, though. So he will be on his lonesome for the moment over towards Laundry. Fusion could have been the playmaker. Unfortunately, he doesn't look over towards Police. He gets shut down immediately from Sukri. Super picks up 2 kills of his own. And, well, it is going to be Maverick surely taking the remainder of time here. I don't really know if it's smart for Torres and Fusion to still go for this. And, well, there's exactly why they get eliminated from the spawns. I think they were actually just trying to get some exit kills, really, from the hard point. But That is denied, and now it is Lost Pepe sent over towards the rotation. I love this play coming out from Mavericks. The proactiveness to go straight for it here. They've actually left one player on the old hard point. Still at a disadvantage technically in terms of numbers. Can they make it work? It is just going to be Sukri inside now, all on his lonesome. We'll have Eric Boom coming off the spawns. This is effectively a 2 versus 3, and actually the kills are going Mavericks' way.
Yeah, Sukri goes huge there, plays long enough to allow Eric Boom to arrive, and suddenly there's no defensive setup for Mavericks. They've not been allowed to get themselves into what we consider the money hill hold, and all of a sudden, this has gone against them. This will likely be a 50-point lead for Lost Pepe. Sukri out onto a 5 before he eventually falls. What a huge play out of him, and suddenly, if you are Lost Pepes, I was talking a minute ago, you had the dominant foot, Mavericks didn't. Never mind, flip it on its head. We go into a scenario where Mavericks look really, really good. P5 typically very, very scrappy, not where you want to be clawing some time back.
What a turnaround this has been, by the way, right? There's 15 seconds left here. Presuming this goes Mavericks' way, they've managed to accumulate, what is 80 to 90 points over the last 3 hard points. They've given Lost Pepes nothing. They have scraps, effectively. And it's not looking too great for Lost Pepes at the moment. Massive turnaround coming over here for this Mavericks side as they want to force a game 5 here, guys, in our upper bracket round number 1 match here in the knockout stage. It is going to be Lost Pepes, though, for the first few seconds of time. This immediate push coming in here from Sukri and Vikal. They're able to get a couple of kills. Surely, if you're Lost Pepes, you do not lose control of this hill, and they do.
They do, and it's that defensive setup that's just never coming through right now. They never seem to be in it. If I could put 4 markers on the map where I would want my team to be, at the minute, Lost Pepes aren't there. Usually, they're fantastic at that, and we saw that in the opening hardpoint in Checkmate. But right now, Mavericks are not giving them any room to breathe, and this contest will mean nothing as Ku gets a lot of shots in the calf muscle, and he will fall. First set of rotations, we were talking a minute ago about how we were a little bit of a lead for Lost Pepes, but relatively neck and neck, and no dominant team. That has completely changed in the second.
I don't know what's happened. I literally just feel like Mavericks, just all of them collectively, just grabbed like a Red Bull off their desk, downed it, and went to overdrive mode. As for the last few hard points, it has been all them. Lost Pepes have not found their way into this game whatsoever. Every single gunfight effectively is going Mavericks' way, and there's just yet another prime example. I mean, Traudy and Torres, they lose control as what a prospective rotation. Mavericks now in control of a hard point where they could close it all for Eric Boom. Oh my goodness, Eric.
That's one for league play.
That is a tasty play. Oh my goodness me. Vikal on a 5 spree, Super on a 5 spree now. Eric Boom and co, aka the Mavericks squad, looking to send this to a game 5, and Lost Pepes just one more hit to shut this down. Fusion's left the game, Abuse's left the game. Lost Pepes, they are done, and what a flipping of the script there from Mavericks.
Yeah, and the player that I actually want to point to and say, this person did a heck of a lot. We talk so much about your Eric Booms, your supers. We constantly give them their props, right? The man who came into this squad not long ago had to build himself into the team and understand all the chemistry was Vikal. In this game, the stat line looks fine towards the end. He gets 21 and 16. That 5 spree at the end gives him that nice stat line. But before then, he was still their star man. And it was him constantly, endlessly looking for the next hill. Okay, P1's popped. It's been open for 3 seconds. I don't care. I'm going for PD. And every time we saw Lost Pepes try and set up that defensive hold, Vikal was not giving them an inch. Fantastic stuff from him. Fantastic stuff from Mavericks. Flip the script. We go into our next S&D. We are on a game 5, Brody. Nice and early.
Yeah, Express Search and Destroy. That is the battleground for what will be the last map in this series, and what a turnaround it has been for this Maverick side. We'll get our own feed at the moment. We can't actually see program at the moment, me and Andy. So when we can get that back, we'll go over to the map set for you guys and really break it down for you how this series has gone so far, because it's just been incredible, right? Because Lost Pepes, they come out swinging in what was a great hardpoint map win for them in map number 1, and then of course in map number 2 also. It was I'd say a relatively close search and destroy, but still it felt like Lost Pepes were in the lead for the majority of it. And then map 3 comes. Control was all Mavericks. Map 4, it felt shaky at the start, but that victory there for this Maverick side, I mean, what was that, like last 4 hills just effectively back to back, managing to chain them together? Incredible from them.
Yeah, no, and you're right to bring up about that momentum shift, because that's definitely what it feels like on this end of the desk. Anyway, you can see. I mean, at the end of that hard point, you've got players effectively rage quitting. I don't know what the term for it is when you're at this level of gameplay, but they are bouncing out of the lobby before the final whistle has even been blown,
Right.
running before the fat lady has sung, so to speak, and that's not a good thing to see if you're Los Pepes. They were so calm and collected at the start of this series, very deservedly led. But all of a sudden, this is now a situation where Mavericks have all the momentum. Mavericks are your more experienced side, and we go into an S&D Express. Standoff might have been that flip roulette map. This is not. Teams have been playing this for a while now.
Yeah, for sure, right? And people. Yeah, I was gonna say, if anybody's still using the excuse of Express is a really new map, we don't know how to play this. We're in stage 4, guys. If you got that excuse still, I don't know what to tell you. This is a very different battleground from Standoff, and we kind of discussed the ingenious play again. This is all the presumption, by the way, when we talk about Standoff, that Los Pepes had control of the veto process at that point and were able to veto Standoff into the map pool, which is a very intriguing prospect, because of course it's the exact kind of play that you want to make if you want to push a team sort of maybe off balance, considering their prior search and destroy record. Los Pepes coming into this series 2-7, of course now 3-7, including their win earlier on map number 2 versus this Maverick side, but still, they before this series, again, I'm not entirely sure how the stats now stack up against everybody else, considering obviously Amelia Strays and the Originals have also played a Search and Destroy now. They were, statistically speaking, the worst team in Europe for Search and Destroy. I'm pretty sure generally they were the worst Search and Destroy team across Europe and North America. I'm pretty sure that was the case. They were not good at Search and Destroy. So even considering their win earlier on in this series, Andy, I am not exactly confident in them going in this game 5.
Yeah, and I think the odds stack up against them even more when we talk about how the last time these two teams met, they played Express S&D and Mavericks came out on top. I can't remember how convincingly it was, but either way, we've had that complete momentum shift. We bring in the statistics you just brought in. We bring in, it is suddenly that mountain is back that at the start we talked about, and we thought had dissipated, but suddenly backs against the wall. But it's game 5 and it's S&D. Anything can happen. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. I'm very much looking forward to the conclusion of this series, of course. A reminder for you folks at home, the Originals versus Amelia Strays is another match we have going on concurrently with this one. Of course, there being 2 matches here in our upper bracket round number 1 of the knockout stage of Elite Stage 4. So we'll be jumping over to the hard point in that series, of course. And we know we kind of abruptly left you hanging with the control. That was actually an Amelia Strays victory. 3-2. They're able to win on Raid over there. The Originals now looking to push this to a game 5 here, Andy.
They are, and we can see basketball's about to come in, and it's all on Hawkeye here because he will fall, and suddenly basketball will be in the hands of Amelia Strays. But you're going to see Grad and pretty much the entire Originals team flood kitchen. They do not want to allow a really solid setup. They're going to try and get aggressive, and that's a very funky looking 74U. But this all of a sudden looked really good a second ago, and it's absolute chaos for basketball. What is this?
It is chaos, and if you're Amelia Strays here in this situation, this is a lot of time to give away to this original squad, so that's why you're fighting so heavily for it. Obviously, at the back of their mind, rotation's going to be there, but Amelia Strays, again, you don't want to give this up, and I don't know how much of a choice you realistically have anymore. Watson's still going for this hard point. The Originals still want this time, and while all this is going on, while the motions are turning here, Amelia Strays and the Originals, that rotation anew is at the back of their minds. Watson, though, huge 2-piece for him. He's surely not going to get number 3. He will against Rafi. Massive gunfight for Watson to win, and that will turn this entire rotation on its head.
It will indeed, and we go into P5, and this is typically very, very scrappy. You want to get out, you want to get wide and try and get information. None of that information is going to come through. The kill feed's absolutely everywhere. Wardy's going to answer his own back, but Rafi will clean it up. 20 left to go. Last big hit from Amelia here, surely.
Has to be done. Has to be done right now. You cannot give up any more time here. You've got to get straight on this point. If not, you want a flawless hold. And this could well be it. Shaxter's able to pick up 1. It's just Grad and Rafi inside the hard point. Can you take him down? Rafi going to fall. Grad over towards open steps. He is dead as well. And now it is Amelia Strays in for this time. They cannot finish it here no matter what. So the Originals, they can make this hit through that ringside and go for it. And there it is. Nice two-piece coming in from Hawkeye. The originals should close it out there. Game 5 between Amelia Strays and the originals, Andy. That's where they're going.
If you wanted to see just how close European Call of Duty is at the top level, the level of talents that we possess, both of our opening games are Game 5, Brody. Both matches, both teams are at each other's throats. You love to see it. And speaking of Game 5s, I imagine that we are now going to hop back over. We will indeed to our S&D between Los Pepes and Mavericks on Express. And goodness me, what an evening of Call of Duty.
Oh, it's only round 1 as well. We've still got one more round of play here on the community stream, guys. Make sure you keep your butts glued to the chair. I know that many people don't have much choice at the moment, considering it's the middle of summer, but I certainly don't anyway. Anyway, moving on, Los Pepes, we'll see how they're able to do on the defense here as they make their way straight over towards B, but look at the aggression coming in from Mavericks. Eric Boom picks up 2, and Mavericks with the numbers to make this work. It is all on Traudy and Fusion.
It is, and we spoke earlier on about how Eric Boom had a slow start to the series, but this is the young man that we have seen so much of, and a call has come in here to rotate this round to A, but because of the fact that Ku is so pushed up, because Traudy's pushed up, he should be able to call this in, and Fusion is here, and the timing will go against him, so it won't matter, 1v3.
Hey, look, Traudy, I rate this guy, right? He is a player that I've had a chance to cast over for many years now, and all the way at the very beginning of my career. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't make that 1 versus 3 and he lets me down. But that's okay. It's fine. You know, life is full of disappointment, Traudy. 1v3 sometimes just don't go your way, and that just didn't. Great start overall here, though, from Mavericks, and this is kind of the aggression. You know, if anything here, we're talking about Express, right, Andy? This is a map that plays right in a Mavericks' hand, just given how good they are as a roster, just hitting stuff as a 4.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is that. How do we always refer to it? Like swarming a presence that this team have, and to be honest, a lot of these Spanish sides do possess. They really do fight for each other. Love to see it, and we're seeing it again. And they're going to get together here. We'll actually see Eric Boom on the rotation, but unless something kind of crazy happens, that bomb will go down, and a pinch looking like it's going to be set up for Mavericks. Never mind, bomb isn't down.
The thing is, Eric Boom's flank, right? I mean, it kind of feels a little bit arbitrary at this point because, I mean, he's flanking. Somebody's always going to be watching that flank one way or the other. It's just the length of time he's taking to make it happen. Now, the good news is for Mavericks is the flank is kind of irrelevant at this point, right? Los Pepes, they haven't got that bomb down. Mavericks are able to stop it. And now, if you're Los Pepes, kind of just stuck in this limbo.
Yeah, and I think as well, when you talk about that flank, Eric Boom's trying to use the 74U from that side of the bridge. He's got a great shot on him, but that's asking quite a lot. Fusion's going to be left in a 1v4. He will get the first, but, I mean, 28 seconds left on the clock. Stuck between many rocks and many hard places, and I think we can scrap this one on for Mavericks as well. And oh, wait, no, please don't win that.
Oh, okay. All right, well, you know, Fusion's got a chance here. There's 10 seconds on the clock, so I think that chance is quickly diminishing. He's going to get that first kill. There's no chance of getting that bomb down, though, not when somebody's sitting inside the train, and that is just, it's effectively an unwinnable situation there, really.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know where everything has gone down. You likely know where the bomb is. At this point, it is a case of, even if you kill 2 of us somehow, which Fusion nearly did, to be fair, it snapped on a little bit, the other one can just kind of run away or bait the bomb site out. So, yeah, very difficult situation. Los Pepes need to be getting off to better starts in those opening engagements, in those first blood situations. And talking about first blood situations, big B hit for you to cast here, Brody.
Well, here we go. B hit coming in from Mavericks. We'll see if they're able to get it done. Los Pepes haven't lost anybody just yet, but they kind of got themselves reserved to the steps and 2 arrivals, so this is going to have to be a retake coming in from Los Pepes.
And they're not. I'm interested to see how they play this because they're not very wide, maybe all through the front. First blood goes their way, so that's a great start.
It's a great start, but there is an immediate trade coming in here from Super. If you can take down Super, that's a massive kill. Eric Boom going to fall as well, and actually, I mean, this is done. There's surely no way. Okay. Sukri doesn't take out the diffuser, only takes out Abuser, and I didn't mean for that to rhyme. For Los Pepes, though, that is A great round, a good retake from them.
That's a very unfortunate word to have your name rhyme with, but yeah, this is comes in, happens, and just like that, they have one on the board, and I feel like it was a crucial point as well. And this little bit of teamwork as well is nice to see, right? It's just that, okay, we can trust each other, we can back each other up, and if we can just do that more consistently, we will be in this match. But also, if they want to get into this match, they need to stop Super. He's 6-2 already, looking very good, and this bomb is going to go towards A. Who's just going to make a bit of noise over towards B and fake this attack, basically.
That's a nice play coming out from Abuser right out the gate here. If he can follow it up to kill onto Eric Boom, that is huge. Unfortunately, not able to do it. Decides not to check the corner. And Eric Boom, of course, going to end up winning that engagement. So now Mavericks with the advantage. They're going to be aware of the fact that Lost Pepper's rotated, but it doesn't matter. Fusion picks up 2. There is a trade, but I mean, Fusion, he's done the job here. He's able to even the odds.
He has. He's gone absolutely huge for his team, but he's not going to check that. And Eric Boom continues to just maraud around the map and do what is necessary. Traudy left in a very difficult 1v2. He checks it, and goodness me, Eric Boom, you disgusting man. Some fantastic shooting. I will say there, Brody, and I hate to pick at individuals, especially Torres, because he's been brilliant all series, but there was no need for him to get so aggressive on that backside fight. He could have just played his life, took his time, and wound down the clock. And unfortunately, it leaves them stuck between a lot of blue arrows.
It happens, right? Sometimes the play flashes before your eyes before it happens, right? Yeah, I'm going to make a crazy play here. It sometimes just doesn't work out like that. So, Los Pepes kind of stuck in the mud here, really. 4-1 down in the search and destroy. Of course, this is the map that would send them to the next round of play, or potentially, of course, if they lose it to the losers bracket. It's not a place you want to be. Quite a lot on the line here for this knockout stage. And Los Pepes right out the gate. Pretty good on the defense. I mean, Abuser are able to get that first blood and will actually get away scot-free.
Well, I'm not... To be fair, I can't shoot as well as Eric Boom, so I probably shouldn't question it, but probably could have done with cleaning that one up. Torres is going to see the entire team go past him. Great trigger.
Oh, no. Okay. All right, they're cool. All right, buddy. It's okay. It's fine. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's one way for that engagement to go, isn't it? Eric Boom now in a 1 versus 2. We'll see if he can pull it off.
I was about to congratulate the trigger discipline there, but trigger discipline doesn't matter when you pull the trigger and you hit nothing but metal and steps. That was something. Anyway, bomb will go down. 1v2 scenario for Eric Boom, and you know what? I wouldn't rule him out with how he's been shooting so far this series, but Fusion and Abuser are together. They've been playing just fine. They're going to play this stuck to each other, more than likely.
Oh, I was going to say, if Eric Boom sticks to that positioning, Lost Pepper's are going to have zero idea. They've already checked this as far as they're concerned, right? I mean, they've definitely looked at it. So whether or not they want to go for the check again, and they don't. Their first kill is there. Eric! Hello? Move? He just stood there and it just looked at Abuser like, yeah, that's all right, you can take me down. It's like, they can afford to lose that round, but it was good positioning coming out the gate there. Post-farm positioning was pretty good there from Eric Boom.
It was. I love the idea as well of just getting up, moving away, allowing just that question of, we've already checked that, so surely he shouldn't be there, and nearly pays off for him. Let's get the first. Maybe he misses his slide or something like that, but for a second there, he was just staring Abuser in the eyes and asking him to shoot back. So, yeah, an interesting end to that one, but it's another round that nearly goes Maverick's way. It's close. 4-2 up, 2 rounds, looking good. This is going to be a big butt head today.
Indeed. Well, let's take a look very quickly at our picture-in-picture in just a second, actually, as it's going to be hit straight over towards this bomb site. You can see over there, it's 1-1 in the search and destroy. Over here, though, Mavericks, 4-2 up, and it comes down to a 2 versus 1 here in favor of Los Pepes. Super has the positioning. They have zero clue where he is. I mean, they have some idea that he's behind them somewhere, but I don't think they know 100% where he's going to come from.
Yeah, they don't know. Super going to read this. He must have checked A at some point to be so confident about rotating this over to B. Fusion spends half a second reloading instead of planting, and that could cost him a little bit, but I will get away. Bomb will go down, and 2v1, and Los Pepes do the right thing and basically hug each other in steps.
Oh, Super. Yeah, he's not going to look. That's a good play, I think, from Super in that situation. Just try and make a 50-50 call of where Fusion's going to come from. Unfortunately, it was the wrong call. And I mean, this entire round just kind of melts down from this initial butting of heads over towards B.
Yeah, it does. And Boozer there, some very nice shots. And suddenly, Brody, this game was looking a little bit out of Los Pepe's reach a moment ago. But 4-3. And your star man, by the way, is still on a donut, so it can only get better for him. This game is this. We smelling round 11s yet? We talking.
I won't be talking about round 11.
Come on, boys! Don't do this to me.
All right. Well, something has obviously gone cataclysmically wrong here in the search and destroy. Not entirely sure what it is, but we'll be figuring it out for you guys in just a second. As 4-3 is the current scoreline between Mavericks and Los Pepes. We'll keep you guys updated on whether or not that scoreline will stand. But in the meanwhile, because of the wondrous production team we have here behind the scenes, we can bring you some action from the Originals and Amelia Strays. Amelia Strays able to get another round on the board.
Oh, I do love our production team, Brody. Oh, the boys have nothing to cast. Here you go. Here's another serving of great Call of Duty. 2 apiece. We're in game 5. Super, super tight. We've spoken multiple times, actually, about how this game has multiple storylines built into it and the kind of bragging rights that it will indeed bring. Last time these two teams played, Originals walked all over Amelia 3-0, whereas this time out, obviously, a much more contested map. And we spoke about him in the couple of times that we've popped into this series. Chaxter on 6-2. Another great start, stepping up yet again for this Amelia side.
Yeah, Chaxter is just a monster of a player for this Amelia Strays roster. Of course, had a massive amount to prove, I think, coming into this season. Has done it on a multitude of occasions with this Amelia Strays side. Now we'll have to do it again here in the Search and Destroy. As he and Piero going to be guarding this A site all on their lonesome. Furious going to peek his foot out. Jackson takes the shots in, and that should scare them off for the moment and alert the rest of this Amelia Strays roster as to where this bomb is going.
Yeah, interesting play out of Amelia as well. They basically completely give up middle and just rely on the fact that no one's going to be crazy enough to push it. They don't. They will now kind of be pushed back down the steps. First blood comes in, and Furious will be the first man to fall. I never know whether to call him Furious or Klaus, but never mind. Chaxter here on the rotation. Gonna get Hawkey. Will be traded out. We are in a 2v2, Brody. And the bomb is actually going to be rotated through.
I love this play coming out from the Originals. So the heads-up calls coming in from Grad and Rafi. Oh my God, Rafi's about to catch these players off guard. Maybe, possibly, I think that Watson might have heard him. I think they've heard him. Or maybe not. Rafi's actually going to get the play call here. Maybe he's going to get the first, doesn't get the second. So now 1 versus 1 between Watson and Grad. Watson throws some utility out to try and catch Grad off guard. Grad's having absolutely none of it. Knows he just has to defend this bomb site for 20 seconds or so more, and just going to go for the ring around the rosy. He could catch him off guard here. Watson gets the call, but it's going to be a slap down from Grad. Originals end up taking it.
Oh my God. There's so many ifs, buts, and maybes and tiny fractions in that round, bro. There's so many moments where it looked like it was going one way, then the other. And at the end, I'm not sure who, but someone must have had their mix amp cranked all the way up to be making those audio calls, because, I mean, we obviously don't have the audio for this one with it being the look-in, but, I mean, there was some super close calls in that, and very nearly comes through. Originals come out on top. Grad 7-3, and Amelia going to throw the kitchen sink at A, looks. Poor Rafi.
Yeah, Rafi is, he's about to face down the entirety of this Amelia Strays roster, so we'll see how he gets on. We also have, of course, Los Pepe versus Mavericks about to kick things off once again. I believe that was 4-3 to Mavericks when we left them, and that's where we'll be going, returning to Express. Of course, our wonderful fly-throughs coming from 1984. Apparently, it's the 10th or the 31st of October, of course, not the 10th of the 31st month, as the date should be in the correct way around. But anyway, straight over towards the Search and Destroy. We'll keep you guys updated with the picture-in-picture as to what's going on between Originals and Amelia Strays.
Will indeed. And again, just to remind everyone, this is 4-3 to Mavericks, so a huge potential swing round here. Everyone's just going to play a bit cautious. 1 and 2 players have seen each other. They're just going to stand it off a little bit and just wait. Take their time. and kind of make a bit of communication come through. And you'll see they've agreed. The B bomb site is open. Let's shift that over there and get it down. And this is going to need to be a big retake coming through because all 8 players are still alive, Brody. And you know what that means? That means lots and lots of gunfights.
You'd imagine so, right? It just depends how quickly those gunfights do end up coming our way. Lost Pepe's going to get this bomb down on B. Or Maverick, sorry, getting this bomb down on B. It's all up to Lost Pepe's on the retake. Jordy's going to be able to pick up one. Fusion with another. Now, I love this play coming in here from Lost Pepe's. They've got the numbers to make it work. They jump straight on board. Does he try and stick it? Yes, he does. Has the help of Abuser. This should be done. Sukri will get taken down in the process as well. And it says Mavericks have won around the board. Ignore that, guys. It is actually going to be Lost Pepe's here who are able to tie things up.
They are. That's a huge play. The name flips and the color flips and everything is not ideal for my brain on a hot summer's day, but we're going to continue with it. We will indeed go to 4 apiece. I absolutely love that play out of Trordy. It's incredibly ballsy and it comes through and we are even. I'm pretty sure this was 4-1 at one stage. Yeah. So this is definitely shifted as the momentum in this series has multiple times. Everyone on Lost Pepe's goes to A, everyone on Mavericks goes to B, and if they read this right, that bomb's going to get down very quickly.
Well, Sukri's going to draw the first blood, so good news for Mavericks. They're able to get that going. Super as well. That bomb will end up going down, though, so good news here for Trordy and Fusion. For this Lost Pepe side, now they just need to find a way to defend it, and hey, there's one way. Fusion's able to draw that blood against Super. The second would be nice, but no. Eric and Vickle able to win their ones, and Mavericks will find themselves on match point here. One S&D round away from booking a place in the qualification match.
Yeah, booking a place. Indeed. And I don't know, Brody. I don't know. I made the call just before the game crashed, but I'd love to see a round 11. I want to see a round where it's all the marbles and what kind of players come on through. I'm kind of amazed actually that Pepe's are still in this one as much as they are because as good as he's been all series, I think Torres is still on a donut all the way across. So they're making it happen. They're pulling off those big play moments, but this is curtains right here if they don't.
Curtains indeed. Lost Pepe's just one S&D loss away in a round and finding their way into the lower bracket. We'll see if Mavericks are able to get it done here. They've fastly approached this B-bomb site. All hands on deck. Unfortunately, it was the wrong choice. Lost Pepe's. Or Mavericks here, sorry. Actually on the offense and going towards A. Again, these names, they flip. Sometimes get us all kinds of weird moods. But this bomb is now going to go down from Mavericks over towards A. How do Lost Pepe's respond?
I'm trying to set up a pinch, but Vickle, again, Vickle in just an awkward position. Sukri will put a second on the board, and suddenly it's all on Torres. If you wanted to put some kills to your name, here's the opportunity. And, oh, goodness me, it's messy, Brody. It's so very messy.
Well, oh, he's stuck. Yeah, bye-bye. That's one way to go, isn't it? Oh, my goodness me. Mavericks going through to the qualification round. Lost Pepe's. Down you go into the lower bracket. You still have a chance to qualify, but you're going to have to fight tooth and nail for it now. And we shall turn our attention, I hope at least, over towards our other matchup between the Originals and Amelia Strays, of course. And that's going on right now. Amelia Strays, 5-3 up here versus the Originals. Just one win away from taking it, and Pierre has drawn first blood.
He has, and Shaq's just going to try and bully his way in. The one shining light here for the Originals is the bomb is down. But look at those arrows swarm. The trades will be good because they have that numbers advantage. But suddenly, everything comes in from both sides, Brody.
It's Rafi, 1 versus 2. Rafi has to defuse defend this bomb, sorry. Oh, the missed shots. He's able to get one, turns around for the second. Those missed shots are going to haunt Rafi. Oh, no. Oh, dearie me. Those missed shots. Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah, not one for the highlight reel again, Brody. We're getting a bit of a collection of those tonight. I mean, we've had some fantastic plays. Obviously, we've had some top tier plays coming through out of every side that has been taking part. But yeah, no, we've also seen one or two stinkers. But both games go to the game 5, and that will mean obviously that in the grand scheme of things, it will be Amelia against Mavericks and Los Pepes against Originals. A lot still to play for in this.
Yeah, absolutely it is, of course. As you say, Amelia will now be taking on Mavericks Gaming Club for a spot in the playoff bracket. That takes place tomorrow, of course. Elevate and August are already there. We have our teams decided who are going through to the next round of play. And now, of course, is the time when our stream splits off as well. So if you guys are interested in seeing that Elevate versus Amelia Stray, or Elevate, that Mavericks versus Amelia Strays matchup, you can watch it over at youtube.com/COD challenges. Make sure you subscribe to that channel anyway, because that's where everything Call of Duty Challenge generally takes place, and you can see that qualification match over there, as well as the one that will follow it after the next round of play. Stay tuned here though, because our lower bracket round 1 matchup, it's time for survival. But who will survive? That's the question. Los Pepes or the Original? Only one can go on in the bracket. We'll be back after a break with some more Call of Duty for you guys.
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums roar. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you out. You hunger, a taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, the fight is at your door. Take up the cause. As you stand upon the edge, laying in the balance, and flame may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking. So are you restless? Each night you hear the drums roar. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you out. You hunger, a taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken, awaken, awaken.
When I let you go, I just pull you closer. I can't understand where it came from, but you you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip as pulled you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you closer. It's a long departure. It's a long departure. Before I see you again, before it all makes sense, but I can't hold you back. And I still don't understand where it came from, but you're back in with the passion. I'm awake with the flame in a hailstorm. I'm back in, I gotta have it. Everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip as pulled you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you closer. It's a long departure. It's a long
I can hear you far away. I can see you in the distance. I am living for today. I am a path with no resistance. If we drift to the horizon, if we let it all go, then will you come with me? Till we are free. If we drift to the horizon, if we let it all go, then will you come with me? I'm gonna make you a cloud.
the color of my mind, and you think you can save me from myself. Everything I touch, I go.
If I say goodbye, then make me alive, make me alive. My heart's heating up, 'cause love is on fire, love is on fire, on fire. Ooh, if I say goodbye, then make me alive, make me alive. If I say goodbye, then make me alive, make me alive. My heart's heating up, 'cause love is on fire, love is on fire, on fire. If I say goodbye, then make me alive, make me alive. Show me all your innocence. I'm holding on for one last time. We seem so much better than I just left for far too long. I couldn't hold you close. I couldn't let you go. Was hard as hell back home, but when you go, it's frozen down to 40 below. When you go, it's frozen down to 40 I just left for far too long. I couldn't hold you close. I couldn't let you go. Was hot as hell back home. But when you go, it's closing down to 40 below.
I turned off the lights, I got off the wires. When I close my eyes, disconnected and tired. I see and I know you keep asking me, flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just fired. It's just fired. I was wrong, but I made it right. You came begging day and night. I don't wanna hit the bottom, don't go out of your state of mind. I've been counting 1 to 10. I'll be back when you be dim. With my music together again. I see, yeah, I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. I see, yeah, I see you go down. Yeah, I see you go down. And I know you keep asking me, flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just fired. I see you go down, yeah, I see you go down. I see you go down, yeah, I see you just fired. Fire. I know you keep asking me, flames and fire. I know you are done with me. It's just fired. I'm just enough to make you smile, and you need me to hold you close, and all your fears that you dream of will disappear
just look on, and I look down, and all your fears have run aground. Then you said, all I ever wanted was to love like this. All I ever needed was to feel like something more than a closed door flat on the floor. I can offer so much more. All I ever wanted was to feel at ease. All I ever needed was to get up off my feet. 'Cause I believe in love. Hold on just a little. We'll meet right here in the middle ground is where we'll stand. Let go of the brittle, 'cause you'll find life is a riddle that we're not meant to understand. Hold on, you stop. Hold on, you stop. Hold on. Right here. Hold on. Right,
Sun is out here overseas. Dark emotions ever torn so deep. Falling down through the clouds on. Feeling you. Stay away from me. You keep haunting me.
They did indeed lose both in game fives, and for me, I think that what you've got to find with these sides is if they come out slow, because it can be really hard, especially for example, Los Pepes, right? They were reverse
Right.
swept,
Yeah.
a lot of momentum shift, and the difficult thing there becomes if you start slow on this one as well, it's a lot to try and rebuild. We might see some really key moments here, a couple of like small gunfights, fractional moments, timing moments that go teams' ways that could be absolutely key. I really want to see some big, passionate plays, some well executed stuff, especially when we get to those search and destroys.
Yeah, for sure, right? And that kind of paints an interesting picture for the series because the stats don't lie. Well, they do sometimes, but in this particular case, I very much doubt they will. Of course, we've discussed at length how proficient of a team Los Pepes are in the hardpoint game mode. They're currently 9-5, including the hardpoints which they played in their last match. That beats out the originals quite handily, to be honest. The originals hardpoint has been easily their worst game mode across stage 4 so far, 5-10 in that game mode. So map number 1 should go Los Pepes' way, but when we flip the script to the search and destroy, I mean, we don't need to really discuss at length how kind of not great Los Pepes are at S&D.
Yeah, I mean, they did take standoff in that previous series. They threw in that rogue dice, and I think our guesswork at trying to say that it was them who put it in, this might be the case again, because we do have it again, and maybe they're just thinking, look, maybe we have a slight edge over teams, or we're just crap at S&D and we're going to throw it in again and hope that it sticks. But I mean, that being said, I think the only difference that we're going to have throughout the entire series, instead of Moscow Hardpoint, we will have Apocalypse Hardpoint. And so, generally speaking, the last time out, we see Pepe's come out in the hardpoint, and they were really, really strong on checkmate. So, is it a case of deja vu for us here on the casting desk?
We shall see. Of course, the series is very much alike to what we had previously. Let's jump into this one between the originals and Los Pepes, or maybe not, because the game's about to be drawn. So don't be switching us over here, producer. Don't you worry, because we've still got a little bit more to talk about. I'm kind of glad that we actually do get to preamble this properly, because you remember for the first series here, Andy, we didn't get to do that, which was sad. But we do actually get to talk about this one. And, you know, kind of looking at that map set, really, you know, discussing sort of the, I guess, the records so far for stage 4 before Los Pepes and the originals in hardpoint and search and destroy. You'd imagine, given that both teams are currently 4-4 in control, that really is going to be the decider for the series, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, look, you brought it up, right? Statistics don't lie, but sometimes they do, and we can't rely too heavily on the idea of one team taking all the hard points and one team taking all the search and destroys. But if we do look at those statistics as like that snapshot picture for a second, then the hard points, I would put money on Pepe's coming out on top. Search and destroys, I would be fair to put it on originals, because Pepe's it's tend to struggle in S&D. So yeah, I think you're right. Control is going to be very, very important. It's always that swing mode, but it's super important, particularly in this one. And the fact that both teams are effectively the same when it comes to record speaks to a very, very good series here for us. Again, Brody.
Yeah, it's going to be a great series between these two. Remember, folks, this is a fight for survival here. This is the lower bracket, round number 1 of our knockout bracket in Challengers Elite Stage 4. One of these two teams will be figurative, of course, going home and placing 6th overall in Stage 4 of Challengers Elite in Europe. Not only that as well, but they will have to re-qualify for Challengers Elite for the final stage, stage number 5, of course, the final stage before we get to last chance qualifiers and such, and whatever finals ends up looking like for Challengers this season. Now, of course, this is not the only match going on right now. We have Amelia Strays versus Mavericks going on simultaneously. If you want to watch that one, go tune into youtube.com/COD Challengers. Make sure you're subbed to that channel also, as that's where everything official is going down with Call of Duty Challengers this year. It's going to be great to see how the remainder of this year does kind of stack up, because it's been a great year of Call of Duty so far in Europe.
Yeah, no, it absolutely has. And I think I spoke about it early on in the stage. I kept saying about how there was so many great things going on, and I'm really looking forward to seeing much, much more of it.
Yeah, for sure. Just this season has just been incredible. I think, right, with everything that's happened, with all the teams, I kind of find it funny in a way that, you know, you look back to the very start of the season, how assured everything was. If you kind of remember the storyline going in, it's like we have the 8 best teams in Europe, effectively, right? I would say that it was like 7-1, because poor Team 3G kind of like they didn't do well in stage one. It really is that simple. But yeah, I mean, if you look back then, it was like 7 teams who could take any maps of each other. Now it's like beyond that as well. You've got teams sitting outside of Challengers Elite, right? That you could argue should be here. If you take a look at like players from the retained roster, you know, you've got players who are not currently sitting here playing. You look at players like House Tarf that aren't currently sitting here playing. It's crazy. It really is. And it's just become more and more competitive as the season goes on. And of course, if you guys do want to watch the qualifiers, I know it's a bit premature for us to talk about it. We will more likely than not be having a community stream for that as well, for the final qualifiers of the season, Andy. We're getting close to the end, man. It's just, it gets me a little bit emotional. We've had an incredible season. I'm just astounded by the quality of play we've had this year, and it's only set to get better. But for now, let's kind of focus in here with Los Pepes versus the Originals, a matchup which is going to be a great one, I feel, at least, because, you know, you've got 2 teams that have vastly different, at least in sort of the season they've had so far. Los Pepes, they were made for stage 4. They came together for stage 4. This Originals roster, yeah, all right, they brought their 4th in. Furious came in this season, but beyond that, this core 3 is stuck together for the entirety of the season so far.
They have, and they've been really, really good for it. One of the things that does happen throughout a game, throughout a lifespan of a game, is teams take that chemistry and learn how to apply the fundamentals of the game to their strengths and weaknesses. And sometimes you see that shine through, as you do at times with Originals. And clearly Furious just complemented that very, very well. Whereas as we get into the start of this one, we're going to see again that all the strategies and everything in the world, it just descends into plain chaos. Rafi's going to try and wrap round. Abuser will cut it short, and we go into the bloodbath that is P1.
Yeah, P1 always a very hotly contested hard point. I love this right out the gate. Look at Fusion coming in from behind here, trying to flank the Originals roster. Does a great job of it, by the way. Ends up picking up 2 kills, effectively securing this first set of time for Los Pepes. And overall here, Los Pepes in a great position to start this map out. They've got control of P1. They've got control of the spawns for next also.
They have indeed, and Originals are going to continue to throw everything at this. Grab absolutely flies across the screen there. That looked like a jetpack movement. That was insane. Rafi will get the first. He's looking to try and get through stacks here, but Abuser's going to read it and cut it short. And this is what Pepes are very, very good at. We saw them play it a moment, well, not a moment ago, about an hour ago, and they get in early. They rotate, they prioritize the fundamentals, and they do it again here. They did actually have Trawdy spawn all the way out, but his teammates hold deep, and that will continue to spawn the Originals out as well. That being said, Furious is in round the back, and this is important.
Big gunfight to win. Oh, Furious going to lose it. Big one for Abuser there. That will ensure that Los Pepes continue to spawn in the back line, as now the Originals got to find your way in here. Don't want to give up all this early time to Los Pepes. Rafi around the front. It's going to fall to Torres inside yellow container. And the Originals, I mean, they're trying to get past this front line. They are not able to. Los Pepes just winning every crucial gunfight.
They are, and the thing is for this side is, typically speaking, their ARs are really good. And one of the standout players on this map quite often is Abuser for them. He did start 5-1, just got cut down a little bit there, but I think this map must be one of their picks because it suits them, the way that they like to set up their ARs and the way that their SMGs like to kind of play off of each other a little bit. And they have taken a lead here. But that being said, we're going to move on to P3. And this is where it gets scrappy and contested. This is one where any sort of time you can steal is a bit of a golden nugget. And spawns are going to be a little bit everywhere as we come in to the mid-hill of it.
Nobody in control, as is always the case, really, for this middle hard point. It's so hard to get a foothold into it. But it's going to be the Originals trying to get somebody on the hill. It's going to be Grad also there with Rafi. Torres, though, he's able to pick up 1, not the second. Grad going to trade out his duo in Rafi. But Los Pepes now have a member of their own into this hard point. Trawdy, of course, winning a crucial engagement now. And for the Originals, spawning out over towards Wood. This is very much worst case scenario. I mean, Torres, Beezer, and Trawdy able to combine for free here. Los Pepes, they have control, not just of this hard point, but once again of those all in crucial spawns for the next hard point.
Yeah, this is one of the things that they do great, Brody. They just prioritize exactly where they should be in terms of chaining one hill to the next. Their positioning up at Northern Containers is going to continue to ensure a deep spawn for the Originals and give them plenty of breathing room to fight things back. And if you've got that really deep setup, trades are fine. Trades is what comes through. And Torres doesn't just do trades. He does 2 pieces up to 8 and 4. The hill continues to be in their hands, and they are extending out a good lead.
Indeed they are. This is a great start for Los Pepes, and you're starting to see now why they are one of the best hardpoint teams we have here in European Call of Duty Challengers. Again, 9-5 coming into the series, having a monster go of things. We'll see if they're able to maintain control of the hardpoint for the moment. Look at this. Fusion going to call out to Torres that, hey, there's 2 players coming over to you. I'll get the third as well. Don't you worry about it, buddy. Los Pepes in control of this hardpoint. Now, there is an opportunity here for the Originals to do what they need to do on the rotation. We'll keep an eye on that one. But for Torres at the moment, a 7 spree for him. 1 more kill, and it ascertains that cruise missile. He won't get it, though. Just an artillery strike.
Just an artillery strike, indeed. And to be fair, not the best map for some streaks, but a cruise is always nice to have in the pocket. The play that was going on there that nearly came through was Furious trying to be sneaky towards the new hill. It doesn't come in the end, and Los Pepes are here nice and early. They need to defend a big wave of attack, though, and Rafi's looking to get in through the back, and this could be huge because it's not just Rafi, it's Hawkeye as well. They want to try and clear out red. They're going to continue to contest it, and if this comes in, this could be the spawn, and it does come in, Brody. This suddenly is a bad situation for Pepes, who are clinging on.
Well, Pepes in control once again. The Originals, they had a moment where they could potentially have broken in. They're not able to do it just yet. Good news, though, the Originals have spawned in the back now, so they've got an opportunity to get on in. But every single time, Los Pepes just able to win these crucial engagements. Rafi picks up 2. Unfortunately, one of them is teammate. Torres has the final say. Los Pepes get every single shred of time. And I think that really just epitomizes the way this game is going for the Originals at the moment. They get spawns for the last 25 seconds of time, not able to get a single shred of it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I called, this is a bad situation for Pepes. Originals have the spawn, and yet they get nothing from it. Absolutely nothing. You can do all the fundamentals if you want, but if you're not winning gunfights, it doesn't matter. Torres sliding onto a grenade is definitely not one of those fundamentals, but whatever. They're going to have a ridiculous lead, nearly 140 points, which is absolutely phenomenal after the first set of rotations. Originals do have control of plane, but if you're Pepes, you can sit back here and just soak up for P2. That being said, Trotty spawned out, and suddenly you're going to see Fusion head for the far side of the map.
That's a massive rotational gunfight about to go down over towards there. We'll see whether or not Fusion can win it. If he wins this puts the Originals in the bin. All right, it's all good. So that is a massive win there for Rafi. That will ascertain the spawns for the Originals for this new hard point. Maybe a way back into this game, but just look at the lead that Los Pepes have built up over the course of the last few hard points. It's in the entirety of 2 hills here, Andy.
It is, and some of these hills are super contesty, and that the problem for Originals is they can be as good as they want on a money hill, and they do need to be spot on, by the way, as Pepes are about to hit the front. Contesting. Rafi will go down. Furious, though, will answer it back, and just for a second, Fusion nearly sneaks on by. We're into that 30-second marker. The thing is here, you can continue to hit if you wish, because P3 is a stone's throw away, so it's going to be interesting to see what Pepes do here.
Yeah, you've got room for error. That's the bottom line here if you're Los Pepes. Let's see if they do need it, though, as Furious now in the mid-map looks to try and get out of this situation for Los Pepes. That would have been a big kill to get if you could try and create a path for your team to get out of the spawn. And now it's Los Pepes. Torres looking to trap these guys inside the hard point. Goes for seconds against Grad. Fortunately, a little too gluttonous there as he doesn't get taken down. And now the Originals have found a way out. It's all going to be on Furious inside the plane. He will get taken down. Los Pepes in for this time. They could finish it here.
They could. I would be very impressed to see them perfectly hold P3 of checkmate. And that is not going to be the kill they want to go their way. And there's a spawn in for Rafi that's going to let him in behind. It's going to allow them to set up a pinch. The trades are there and thereabouts, and it will allow Originals in. Now, Originals have a long way to come back here. P3 is not the hill that you want to be trying to scramble some time back. But all of a sudden, they have managed to put 60 points or so on the board relatively unanswered. But it's again that northern container shift where Boozer's just trying to get control of and allow them to move into P4 uncontested. These next couple of gunfights you feel are huge. Do Originals manage to lock down 4 and reclaim this lost time? Or does that happen where suddenly Pepes are in control of what could be a hill that puts them in touching distance?
And, well, what I was about to say was that, again, you kind of said it, to be fair, was that Originals, if they win this next set of gunfights, they could find their way back on this game. Now that Los Pepes are able to effectively solidify the first few seconds, it makes their job a lot tougher to pull off. Let's see if they're able to get it done, though. Grad and Raffi find their way in. They get shut down. Hawkeye with 2, but it's an immediate trade, and Los Pepes have the final say. Torres maybe still has a little bit more to say. Grad takes out his teammate. Oh, no! Catalytic error as Los Pepes. They're in once again for the tie, and the Originals do not have control, but Hawkeye picks up 2. The Originals now back in for this tie, but Los Pepes, they are just 12 points shy of victory, and you bet they will not leave this hill alone.
No, absolutely. They can continue to put Originals onto the back foot because they can't move away from it until now. Now they can get away from it, and it will not be Pepe's hill. But any split second of time is bad, and it's even worse to get 3-pieced by Torres. Okay, they have hill 4. Hill 5. This looks about it, Brody.
Yeah, this should be done. This should be done. I mean, they've got to get in the hard point. If the Originals want to stop this, you've got to touch the hard point now. They do get somebody in. Raffi's going to win that fight against Abuser, but he's got so much to do. You can't just sit in that window, buddy. Los Pepes will end up winning the game, and there it is. The last couple of kills come in. Los Pepes, they have to work for it in the last few hard points, but it was just that early lead that just felt really insurmountable.
Yeah, no, 100%. I always wonder when it's one of those situations, if they just took the foot off the gas a little bit, everything's a little less urgent, but it's still a relatively comfortable victory, just shy of that 100-point marker. And they come out on top. They do the bit that we expected them to do, which was come out and win the hard point. They are good at hard points. They do love checkmate, and the players that tend to enjoy that map did indeed enjoy that map. So from here, I mean, this for me is, I spoke about momentum before the series started. If you're Originals and you lost the hard point, I don't know, bro. Do you just chalk it up as, yeah, we're not as good at hard point as these guys? Or is this like a mental squashing?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is, right, with all squads in the Challengers Elite, they have some form of coaching staff, right? Whether that be an analyst or a coach, you know, one way or another, they have somebody that will be able to look at these stats. They have these stats just as we do, and they kind of know that hardpoint isn't their strong suit. They probably know that without the stats, to be honest. They also are going to be well aware of the fact that Los Pepes is pretty good at hardpoint. So for them there, that isn't a cataclysmic loss, really. But now it kind of makes your job tougher. In a way, even though you are the better search and destroy team, at least on paper, it does kind of, I guess, you know, it put you in a not so positive mindset for this next map where it's like, okay, well, look, we could have upset them at hard point. We didn't. And now you need to do what you need to do in the search and destroy. Now it is on you because you are the better team here in search and destroy. You need to come out and win it. And talking about the search and destroy, well, it is going to be in standoff, but just in case you wanted to see what the remainder of our map set will look like, we'll take a look at it for you guys at home, of course. I'm very excited to return to standoff for map number 2. Of course, Garrison Control will be following that one. Apocalypse Hardpoint, I'm not sure if it's Apocalypse or Moscow. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Apocalypse Hardpoint for map number 4. And then Express Search and Destroy, of course. That actually is the only difference, that Apocalypse in this series. Of course, the prior one that we just got to cast where Express was map number 5.
Yeah, and last time out, it was Pepe's that came out on top in that standoff. And you're right. You're 100% correct. The mentality shifts here considerably in the series. They definitely will have the analysts. They definitely will have the knowledge that, hey, they're better at hardpoint, we're better at search. The thing is, for Pepe's, they held up their end of the deal. They done their bit. Now the onus is indeed on Originals. So it's a case of, do Originals then do the bit that they're supposed to do? And if they don't, suddenly is this series insurmountable for them because they've then got to go through 2 respawns. I know that they're okay at control, but that Apocalypse hardpoint suddenly becomes a real roadblock in this series.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the thing here. If you win this search and destroy, if you're Los Pepes, I think you somewhat sort of, this is, it's a great situation, right? If you're Los Pepes in the situation, you win the search and destroy. Statistically speaking, you shouldn't be doing that. You're 3-10 in search and destroy. Yes, you won the last one in your last series, but still, the Originals by all accounts should win this. And I'll tell you why as well, because it's not just the on-paper odds where Los Pepes are 3-10 in search and destroy. Their search and destroy this season has been abysmal. It's the fact that on the other side, we have the Originals here, a team that at the very foundation are a search and destroy team. You know, the players, for anybody who knows their European Call of Duty history, Grad, Raffi, Furious, every single one of those players came from search and destroy into respawn. So their search and destroy is incredible. Like their game knowledge, their game sense down to a T in S&D. And that's why they should win this, and the odds are definitely stacked against Los Pepes in this situation. However, Los Pepes win this map, it really sends your head for a whirl for the control. And again, you know, we kind of preface this entire series by saying that Garrison control could well decide the way this series goes, of course, given the fact that the hardpoint and search and destroy is tilted, statistically speaking, in one team's favor. Or another. Just to remind you guys at home, though, while we've got your attention, there is another match going on simultaneously with this one. It's Mavericks versus Amelia Strays. You can catch that, as you can see at the bottom right of your screen right now, at youtube.com/COD Challengers. I believe Bryce, Tunn, and Ellen are casting tonight. So if you want to see some stellar casting, of course you can stay here, but you could also go over there as well, where they are just as good, if not better. And well, let's jump into this match between the Originals and Los Pepes. It's time for some search and destroy action on my favorite map of all time. It's time for a slice of standoff.
It is, and we always seem to go into this little cautious standoff moment. Those nades are going to bring about a lot of information, Brody, and this is actually an aggressive play out of Furious, gaining map control and just allowing them to push forward. First blood, second comes through, the third comes through, and all just like that, Fusion in a 1v4.
Oh, okay. That was pretty quick from Fusion. There's no way you're winning that 1 versus 4.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I think this is what one of the things you mentioned there about how these boys have come from the S&D scene. I do very much think that one of the things you see from those kind of players is early on their strategies, their style of play is so much higher tier than those that have gone the opposite direction. However, I think that the one way in which Los Pepes can kind of counter that is to try and extend these rounds out a bit. Just make it so that it's a time situation, or maybe there's some timing or awkwardness, and that will allow them in. So I think the early scenarios continue to go the Originals way. Pepes are going to struggle, but it's on Pepes, and the onus is on them to extend it out. And this is possibly going to be a headbutt situation. Oh, really weird timing.
Originals have sent players in the back alley. They could really catch Los Pepes with a pounce down here. Oh, there it is. Grad picks up that first blood. Does get the assist in from Traudy, but immediately traded back out. Now a 2 versus 3 here. The Originals have the numbers on the defense, and I'm kind of intrigued. Nice stun check coming out from Torres. That's the information that Hawkey's over by this tank. I mean, to be fair, you kind of knew anyway that somebody would be here. I don't really know what you do here if you're Traudy and Torres in this situation.
I think the onus is on Torres. He's got to get that pick and try and clear something. I'm going to know that surely they're not expecting to be able to just get a free plant here. So Torres is going to go for it anyway. And this could be bad.
That's just such a hard bomb to get down in any given situation. I like this play coming in here. Shot through the wall coming in from Torres. Or from Rafi, sorry. That's going to ward Torres away from the site so that he can take down Traudy, and now it is just Torres in a 1 versus 3. Furious should have this one down to a T. There it is. Easy dub. And that is just a really awkward situation for Torres and Traudy generally, that you've got to get that bomb down in 2 versus 3 and you have 0 map control to do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's that, again, that early situation that doesn't come through for Los Pepes, and unfortunately puts them on the back foot, and Originals are just going to close it out from there. They're such a solid S&D team that you do fully expect them to, and they make no mistakes. And as well, I just don't know if I agree with the idea of trying to just edge the bomb in there. They probably, in hindsight, should have gone for the rotation. Anyway, we are into round 3, and the bomb is going to be moved up into Brown. It's a split from Pepes, and we go into the opening fights.
Furious trying to get some control outside a courtyard. Unfortunately, isn't going to be able to get past the starting line, but the Originals deciding to take this bomb now towards A. Going to act on their instincts. We'll see if they're able to take control of the site. Technically speaking, Fusion and Torres aren't actually on the site, so the Originals will get control, and this is going to have to be a retake coming in from Los Pepes.
I like this move out of Fusion. He's just trying to get round, but if he dies there, then it's all for nothing. And I feel that was the opportunity there. And suddenly, 3 fall. It's onto Abuza. He's a fantastic player, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Originals come out on top again. Again, it's just that early stage. It's that first wave. It just seems like Pepes are just trying to kind of make it as they fly. There's no doubt that they have practice strategies and so on and so forth. They're a good side. But there's a little bit extra there from the originals that they're confident and they execute. And unfortunately, right now, Pepe's have absolutely no answer and no way to really hang in these rounds beyond the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was just the originals getting control of that site. So Los Pepes now a spot of over here in the search and destroy. 3-0 down. They need to start getting creative if they want to end up winning these rounds. And here's some of that creativity in spades as they make their way over towards A. Well, no, they don't. Furious is going to get that bomb down straight away. And immediately here, we see the dominoes fall. The originals going to find themselves on a 2 versus 2. Never mind a 2 versus 1 and a 1 versus 1. How quickly this round has fallen by. Now it is just Torres versus Grant. I do like how quickly Torres is getting this bomb down.
Definitely forces Grad into making some decisions and not going to see each other. Ring a Rosie, Brody, and you know what? This could come down to some magic timing. Who's going to... Torres just going to try and run away here, but he's trying to bait Grad in. I don't know if I agree he does enough to win the gunfight. Goodness me, I don't... Oh, for a second there, I don't know if he just should have maybe buy a bit more time, just get away. He knows where he is. He knows that he's got to chase him. Continue that ring a Rosie maybe, but he wins the gunfight, so it's okay. Just a bit risky for me. Bit risky.
I will say there was a good read there from Grad, right? He recognizes that, well, hey, Torres isn't on the side, so he's blatantly wrapped round. Goes through Cube just so that he can stay out of sight for the check. Unfortunately, just makes the wrong call in the actual 1 versus 1. So Los Pepes are going to grab that round off the back of the 1 versus 1. And look at this defensive play coming in here from Los Pepes. Call has been made to effectively swarm onto A. It's what kind of fanged them in the last round where they had 0A control and gave up the site to the originals. That hasn't happened this time around. Now, it is a sacrifice because in doing so, they've got much less pressure on the B site. We'll see how quickly the originals realize that.
This is a very important gunfight. You feel Abuza comes out on top, puts his first one on the board, and that was very, very important. But it's aggression from Pepe's all of a sudden. They're more than happy to get up in the mixer. There could be a huge gunfight on the flank between Ku and Grad, because that does indeed mean that there's no pinch coming through either. 4v2 scenario. Pepe's can take their time here. There's no need to be so aggressive walking onto the end of Rafi, but it's a 1v3.
This would be an ace as well for Rafi. If he makes it happen, he's going to rotate over towards the site. Abuse is going to spot him out. That's an easy dub. Los Pepes. And it is that early play call, right, that makes that round so effective. Definitely. 1,000,000%. And I think that the flank kill there is very important. I forget who it was, who sat wide on the flank, but they're just patient. They bought their time. That communication is just going to continue to come through. We're safe. Keep doing what you're doing. You're fine. And then more importantly as well, he wins the gunfight. So huge, gets them within touching distance, but still work to do as they trail. See how Los Pepes take this round. Seems to be a bit more of a cautious approach here. The originals have done what Los Pepes did in the prior round, though, to them. They've pushed 2 players all the way up to Tractor. Furious and Hawkeye. How ready are they there for this hit? If they can get this bomb down, if they can take out Torres in this situation, it leaves Los Pepes effectively stuck in the mud.
Does never agree with the idea of moving the bomb by yourself onto one particular flank. Maybe try and bait out a rotation here. And actually, the gunfights are going to even up, so this might come in for them.
That's so smart. That is so smart. That is a 200 IQ play from Los Pepes. Really well played overall. You send 2 players in the back alley. Hey, look, guys, don't worry about A. We're going over here to A. Abuser and Fusion effectively pull the rug over the eyes of this roster. The originals have no idea what hit them.
Yeah, I have a feel there that that's a very Hail Mary play that's in their playbook for sure, because if you drop the bomb there and it's realized, it's a very, very difficult situation to recover from. However, if it comes off like that, it looks very, very sexy. And it comes in 3 apiece. Suddenly 3 rounds on the board on the bounce for Pepe's, and all that talk that we had a minute ago about Originals being dominant in S&D, well, we've got to reestablish that again, because this is a very important match for them to take in this Elite Qualifiers. Sorry, playoffs.
Furious debating whether or not he wants to take that trophy down. Now he definitely does, because Fusion's already spotted him out. So there's literally no downside to doing it. Furious sliding around the corner. Doesn't put up Torres just yet. There's the pre-fire. The kill comes in. There is an immediate trade, though, from Fusion. But, I mean, the Originals, I think they're pretty happy with that one. They've already got the control of the site. So now Lost Pepe is going to need to retake.
Yeah, I'd be very happy with that. And there's, surprisingly from Lost Pepe's, no one top Brown, which is going to give the opportunity here for Originals to
Look at Rafi.
get it down and set up a little bit. And Rafi's position is going to give them a lot of wide cover if he gets there. And he's going to see quite a lot of crosses. So, yeah, suddenly this is a really difficult task.
Rafi just makes the call, effectively, right? I mean, his position, it isn't necessarily to do anything crazy there. He just makes the call to his teammates, like, hey, you know, guys, look, someone's going to come out from the street, from L-Wall, and I'll let you know about it. And that is just such a smart play overall in the round, where Rafi's able to give the information and they're able to act on it.
Absolutely. Definitely. You've called it completely correctly there. Oh, a little bit of extra taste there from Hawkey. A little bit of spice into this series to kind of match the timeline right now. We love to see it. We absolutely love to see it. 4-3 up for Originals then, and he's got to hold on to a defense round, I feel, here, and shut the door a little bit that Pepe's have forced open. Pepe's are going to go for this big gas hit again. Last time this didn't work for them, but they're putting the faith there once again, Brody.
Here they are, and Lost Pepe's will be met by the AR of Furious, who, okay, he's going to be made weak by that nade. Now it's whether or not he can get away. He will do for the moment. Going to peek wide out into the alleyway. And now you're actually in a spot of bother here if you're Lost Pepe's, because you don't have control over that alleyway. You've got to actually make a heroic play to go retrieve it. The Original's in control here, but somehow Lost Pepe's grab that bomb and get away from the moment. It isn't all that long, though. It is only a moment in time. Torres now in a 1 versus 2. Whoop. Okay. All right, it's all good. He does get that kill against Grad. Now a 1 versus 1.
Torres, he has been such a good player so far this evening. Obviously didn't have the best S&D map towards the back of that last series, but otherwise he's been absolutely fantastic. But I think Hawkey might read this very well. And if Torres stands up, oh, we don't get the whack-a-mole. Okay, so Torres gets out of his life. And this becomes a game. Do we see that early defuse, Brody? Or are they going to try and take a gunfight?
It's so risky, isn't it? To just jump on the defuse if you're a Hawkey. Oh, he's actually seen him, but Torres has seen Hawkey also. I love this play from Hawkey. Just going to jump on the bomb. If he would have stuck it, that would have been very interesting. The stun check comes out from Torres, and now Hawkey's going to stick it. Is it too little too late, though? Torres is going straight for it. He should be able to get the kill in, and he will do. A little bit of mental gymnastics going on there between the two players, trying to big brain each other out. But it's now going to be a tight S&D here.
Well, wonderful 1v2 there coming in from Torres. At least a 1v2 anyway. For a second there, it looked like they'd lost everything, and it did need a bit of magic to keep them in this one, to keep them sparring punches, basically. They're just trading right now, and the problem for Originals becomes more and more and more. The nearer towards the end of this match you get, the closer it is. You can't afford any mistakes, and this is supposed to be their map. So they've got to go big, you feel, in this round.
The Original's going to send this bomb over towards A. Lost Pepe's. They have some presence over here. It's been diminished, though, as Torres is going to end up falling. Fusion inside. The Q will also fall, but Lost Pepe's. The cavalry has arrived, and it's Abuser and Traudy. They get control, and now a 1 versus 1. Traudy has to put out Rafi. Look at the shots from Rafi. The ice is there, and the Originals put themselves on map point here.
Huge moment, Brody. Huge moment, because if this goes the other way, suddenly it is very scary. But Rafi reads that perfectly. You're right about the ice. He has it. Now though, Pepe's have the opportunity to answer with their own attack. And to be honest, they've needed a little bit of magic at times to get them through, but we've seen that they're not scared of trying to make something happen. And We're going to see all four going round brown and gas side, and they're going for it again, Brody. Worked once, failed once. Here we go again.
And Rafi, I believe he might have actually caught some eyes on them, and there you go. That's the effect of that, as Rafi's able to pick up the first blood. Los Pepes have got a player through, though. That was Torres. And now you're in this awkward spot, really, if you're Los Pepes. So you've got to get out. You've got to find a way in. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Torres. Gets a mantle instead of a jump shot onto Rafi, and will end up losing that engagement. Now a 2 versus 3 for Los Pepes.
I don't even know what he mantles there, by the way.
A table. I think it was a little table.
Okay, that's incredibly unfortunate. Wow. And the problem Pepes have 40 seconds on the clock, and they don't know what they want to do here. And you feel that one of them needs to get a pick somewhere. One of them needs to go big, and time continues to tick.
Oh, that's a big kill. Massive kill from Fusion. And Abuser wins his one as well. That's massive. Now 1 versus 1. Fusion doesn't really have much time to do this, so he kind of needs to act fast. Furious has seen him. The information that Furious needs to win this 1v1 is there. All he has to do is check this bomb again with time. And there it is, the Originals. Close the door in game number 2. It's a game they needed to win, and they're able to get it done.
Yeah, they are. Indeed, they see out the map that we said they needed to. They do what they had to do to hold up their end of the bargain, basically. Hold up where we felt was their strength. It wasn't necessarily pretty. It wasn't as dominant, perhaps, as Los Pepes' hardpoint win, but it does come through. So we stand at 1 apiece. We go into this controlled garrison. Now, we've mentioned it multiple times, but this, you feel, has the weight of the entire series standing on its shoulders.
You would imagine so, right? And the reason we say that, if you've just joining us on the stream, obviously I know that there are going to be people sort of jumping back and forth between the official stream over at COD Challenge's YouTube channel and, of course, the community stream here. You know, the reason we say this control is so important in the series is because, statistically speaking, you know, the hardpoint should go Los Pepes' way, and the search and destroy should go the Originals' way. And, you know, on paper, if everything goes as it should, this control could well decide who comes out on top of the series. Just a reminder for everyone who is just joining us in the stream, what our map set looks like for this series. We're going to be going to Garrison for our swing game here, of course. This is a repeat of what Los Pepes had to play in their first series. I believe the Originals might have done as well. Oh, no, that was actually Raid control. My apologies. But nonetheless, I believe it was Los Pepes who ended up losing that one. They won the first 2 maps in the series, and then, of course, they got reverse swept by Mavericks. So, Los Pepes, can they win this swing game? Can it happen this time around?
I truly think that they can. I really feel that their SMGs can get up close and personal here and really put some pressure on to the Originals. That being said, Originals, their SMGs aren't exactly slouches either, and this is going to be a very interesting battle between these two sides. You've got to see. We saw it last time out, right? We saw that early A hit suddenly put a couple of questions into the opposing team, make it so that it's not predictable, and right, play those ratty angles as well. If you're that SMG, that's what I want to see. Look, I know no one likes that term, but it's a play style that I respect.
It's unorthodox, Andy. It's an unorthodox terming for playing ratty. I mean, to be fair, I can't think of another word for it. So yeah, we'll go with ratty.
Someone get out a thesaurus and give me a better word or something. But it just works, right? You get into those little corners, those nooks and crannies, and it's a nightmare to play against because you're trying to get out as an attacking team. And to be fair, sometimes when you're defensive side, if an attacker's pushed up and he's like, you're trying to get out of spawn and they're like led in a corner somewhere, it takes you so much longer to get across the map. And this mode so often comes down to that time bracket. So it's just very important for the SMGs to play unorthodox here and just mix it up.
Well, I mean, to be fair, there was an opportunity in the control on Garrison for Los Pepes to do what you've said, play ratty, and Torres didn't do it, if you remember that, in round number 4, where he's just decided to he froze in when the headlights were on him like a rabbit. He absolutely froze there, Torres. So hopefully the same situation doesn't arise here again for all the Spanish fans in the chat. I know there'll obviously there's loads of Spanish fans about. Maybe most of them are watching the Mavericks game at the moment, but obviously there are still the supporters out here of Torres and Fusion. Well, we'll see whether or not they're able to correct their mistakes from their first attempt at Garrison control. Let's go into the map here between them and the Originals. We'll see whether or not the Originals are able to win this or Los Pepes can get that revenge.
There will be no big A hit, and that's a big gunfight there to win right off the bat. Traudy will fall. That's 3-1 if you're counting in favor of Originals. All 4 down from Los Pepes. You don't need this right off the bat. You've got to get yourself out of this spawn trap. Furious is going to continue it for just a second, and Hawkeye coming up out of that dark under area. I forget the name of it. It's eluded me for a second, but that's the kind of play that needs to happen to just upset and continue to pin back the attackers.
You know, ironically enough, we call that area rat.
Oh my goodness me.
Well, we call it rat. I'm pretty sure most players call it vents. But, you know, in our league play, we call it rat because anybody who sits in there is a rat. Anyway, the Originals at the moment, looking for some control. It's going to be Los Pepes on the point. Grad is potentially the key to opening this point up for the Originals. Can he do any more damage? I love this play from Grad, right? Just keep on playing inside rat. Look for some more kills here. Cause some damage to the offense of Los Pepes. But honestly, there's only so much you can do when there's just so much pressure for Los Pepes on the point. They have the numbers to make this one work. Hawkeye wants to go at it. And the Originals, I mean, they're wasting quite a lot of resources to stop this point.
100%. They've invested a bit too much. And the problem is here, they've lost top green control completely. And all of a sudden, Los Pepes have flooded the point. That's the first tick through. Originals, you don't have time to wait. Abuza could have gone huge for a second there. He will unfortunately fall. But Originals managed to clear it out. They do enough. They win the gunfights. 1 tick of pressure comes through. 90 seconds even on lives. Originals survive a scare there, Brody.
That's a fumble of the ball. That is by all intents and purposes, a fumble, right? Because of course, Los Pepes. I mean, you could kind of say here that the Originals clutched up. They got the kills, but I mean, Los Pepes, the position they had, they should win that 9 out of 10 times. So they won't this time around. They will have to go at the hill once more to try and capture those last 2 ticks of progression. Got quite a lot of time to make it work. 2 players coming in from behind bricks. Are Rafi and Hawkeye aware of it? Well, now they are. Of course, that destruction of the trophy system. It's just going to be Hawkeye on the point. We'll get 1 kill. Turn around looking for the second one. There's no way. Snaps onto that. Okay, he gets the help from Grad. But nonetheless, the Originals do regain control of the point once again.
Do continue to pin him back, and I feel that was the opportunity there for Pepes. The 30 seconds is going to have to be a Hail Mary play, but this is that unorthodox style that I like to see out of your subs. Get into a corner. If anyone passes you, just cut them down. But actually, Torres who's going to pick up a kill in Rat there, and you can feel that something's winding up, but they're going to lose 1 in the numbers race, and Torres is going to need to do something big in the back here. The kill will come through on the point, so they're in on it, and it's huge for Fusion now. If he can win that next gunfight, he does not. He will lose it. Furious goes absolutely huge, and by the way, 10 and 5 on the round. Big stuff out of him, but never really felt safe. Never felt secure for that entire round.
Surprised that Furious doesn't play those last few seconds a little bit more tentatively, to be honest. He was on a 5 spree, 2 more kills, of course, and you get an artillery strike, which is pretty crucial for defending that B zone. Overall, I will say there was that moment, right, where it was the transition straight from A to B. And they make it work, like, straight away. It was really well done from Los Pepes, and they just sort of bottled it, I mean, would be the best way to describe it. I'm really not sure what happened. Either way, the Original was able to end up winning the round.
I agree. I do agree. I think that there was ample opportunity there for Pepes to see out a rare attack round, and unfortunately didn't come through. Positives for Originals, maybe. Negatives for Pepes, but we go again, Brody. We go again. B, about to be bloody.
Love this from the Originals. Just throw yourselves at the point. There is still defenders over here. Well, I was going to say there's still defenders over here. That's no longer the case. You're going to imagine that the Originals will 2-stack this. Send a 3rd player over towards green. That's exactly what they're going to do. Los Pepes, they have the numbers for a potential retake. Can they get it done? Torres and Fusion. It's just going to be Fusion now. Hawkeye. Okay, shots are a little bit windy. Torres is going to survive. And only a second to progression will come through. So the originals, no B captured just yet.
No B capturing. Rafi will have control of top green for a second, but he's probably will indeed fall. So it's effectively a little bit of a reset. 3-on-3 for just a second. Perhaps originals want to take the numbers fight. Are they going to allow Rafi to get back in amongst it? Contest is going to mean that they're not making any progress, but Grant smells something here. He's going to pick off Fusion, and that's important because now that could mean a movement or two out of some players around the hill. It's fine, though. They can just lie on the point. Torres here can just wait and allow his teammates to arrive.
Torres still has quite a lot to do here, though. There you go. Trordy comes in from behind, just baits out for his teammates. Trordy picks up 3. Why the hell not? One more kill and it's a streak. He does get shut down. That's his second streak opportunity in this game denied. One apiece now between the originals and Los Pepes on that front. I think overall, though, this is far from an equivalent round as the originals just haven't got control over B. Los Pepes now have them in a bit of a spawn trap here. And the originals have 20 seconds to solve this puzzle.
They do. And allowing Fusion to get away with his life there and come in and cause some trouble towards any attack is just going to leave Furious up. He's going to fall, and this basically becomes a KD game now. Who wants a couple of freebies? Because no objective touch is going to come through. This was... If Original's defensive hold was a little bit scary, Los Pepes was anything but. Very calm, collected, and controlled. And I pardon another pun that I've somehow managed to squeeze in there this evening. But they just get it right. That moment from Torres, you see it. Just... relax, lie down, make them come to you, allow your teammates to arrive, don't ego chow, don't overdo it. They just continue to do that over and over again.
Well, on the bright side for the originals, Trordy doesn't get that 7th kill and there is no artillery strike to talk of, right? So, you know, there's always some positives here. I'm pretty sure Torres is working with some stick drift at the moment. Stick with like drifting to the right there, or start spawn. My man needs to get some more sticks. Yeah, he needs a new pad. Los Pepes. We'll see if they're able to get on the offense here. Straight towards B. Surprise, surprise. And, I mean, now it's a question for me right off the gate here. How quickly do you realize that Furious is in vent? Well, actually pretty quickly because Torres just checked it.
Slide cancel is going to make a lot of noise, and that's 2 big kills to start this off. It's going to avoid that early... pressure here, but someone's still alive. Jordy is still somehow alive here and causing problems. It means that they won't be able to surge up the map as easily as they would like to. However, Rafi's in behind, and if he gets some blessed timing here, if this corner isn't checked, it is. Okay, so that could have been a big moment, but Abuza will do enough. He clears his angles, clears his corners, and this will allow them to set up again. But they don't have any map presence here. There's no map control. They've got to clear a lot of angles, and we're into our last 45.
I don't think you realize until you're actually playing this kind of game how quickly this last 45 seconds will go by, right? You only get a couple of chances if you're the original, or if you're Los Pepes, sorry. So you do need to get it going pretty swiftly. See whether or not they can get out of this spawn. Rafi sniffs out another player. We'll take him down. Look at that movement from Rafi, deciding to jump from pillar to post, and will end up into ammo. That's a position that Los Pepes will want to get him out of. I don't really know if they're going to have the opportunity, though. He's causing all sorts of issues for Los Pepes. Players inside dark for the originals also. There's 2 players who have managed to traverse into the mid-map. Opportunity to maybe hop onto the B zone. Can Grad deal with the pressure? He does get 1. And actually... from the depths of their spawn, Los Pepes now have an opportunity here to capture this zone.
They do, but if Originals want to, they can invest. They have a 4 life advantage, make that 5 when it comes to life, and there's only 8 seconds left on it. Do you want to back off and let Originals have an extra minute, or do you want to at least try and put some pressure on here? The pressure does indeed come through. It's a fantastic set of trades, and they do enough to hold on defensively. Someone might dive on, they do not. So Originals, okay, there was a moment there towards the end, but a much improved defensive round, because up until that last moment, there wasn't really anything going for Los Pepes.
Yeah, and you think you really speak, right, about sort of the that moment there towards the end where Los Pepes actually did manage to get out of their spawn and onto that point. It's concerning for a moment there, really, right? But I do like the play call to just stack the point. You've got the lives to waste, as you aptly already mentioned, Andy, and, well, works out in their favor. They get it done. They win yet another control round. And again, just to kind of mention the stakes here, this not only is for a series advantage, but what could decide the series later on down the line, of course, if the series does play by the stats, Hardpoint and Search and Destroy may well already be decided, just given how drastic those stats actually look for both of these two teams. But, of course, stats sometimes are not always telling the whole story. We'll see whether or not that story is going to be correct for the stats later on down the line, but we're right back into this one here. The Originals want a piece of the B zone, and they're going to have to fight Fusion to get it. He's fighting tooth and nail for this.
He's played it absolutely fantastically, but this might be a time.
What?
Never mind. Okay, Fusion goes absolutely huge. Young man, that's disgusting. Give him a 5. Stop shooting at him, boys. Just leave him alone, because his gunny is hot right now. He's feeling it. He might not have had a great start to the game, but when Los Pepes needed him to step up, he did. And that's unfortunate because it's just shy of streaks. How many times have we said that this game?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's been many streaks avoided in this game thus far between Los Pepes and the Originals. Mostly for the former, of course, with Trawdy and now Fusion getting close, but no cigar. The Originals don't need to panic just yet, especially given the position they find themselves in now. Hawkey's managed to filter through the mid-map. They haven't cleared out green just yet, so you'd imagine that Abuser will come through and spoil this for Hawkey, or maybe not. Abuser's actually going to lose that one. If Hawkey can even get a ticket progression, that would be huge. But if anything, that's a secondary objective. He is just looking to cause havoc for Los Pepes over towards A. Doesn't actually do as much as a good of a job as he maybe would have liked, because Los Pepes didn't fall for the trap. They still sent the majority of their forces over towards B to stop that capture.
They did. It's a perfect play call out of Pepe's. In hindsight, I don't know if I agree with Hawkey just going and sitting in a corner there. Go and put yourself a back satellite and force someone to come to you. Either way, Originals are going to have another attempt at this. They're going to try and break it once more, and the opening 2 gunfights go their way. If they can just clear out the last one, Fusion, which they do, you would expect this cap to come in, but it's painfully slow. Rafi with the 3-piece to break on in, and surely this is the last investment. It's secured, Brody. We will have an extra minute, a minute and 20, in fact, and the life count very slightly in Los Pepes' favor.
Interested to see how the Originals do approach this one. Generally speaking, we do see teams going through the mid-map, trying to push in from behind from bricks, a couple of kills, and this becomes a scary situation for Los Pepes. Torres sitting patiently on this point, has the help of Fusion over towards brick side, but here comes that hit around the back for the Originals. Rafi going to lose one. Furious also loses to Abuser in the back line, and now Grad, I've never felt so lonely in his life, it would seem, because he's all on his own over towards Square. The Originals going to have to go back to square one here, as Los Pepes dominating the kill feed at the moment.
They are pushing them back, doing all the right things that needs to happen on defense, and you nearly double the life count, feeling very comfortable about it. I haven't been keeping track of picks, but I mean, Originals have to sacrifice everything here, really, because you've got to at least get those ticks in. I believe we're playing on ticks, and if not, if we're playing on lives, then I'm pretty sure that Pepes are all over this, because they've been slaying out pretty comfortably.
Torres all on his own. There's very little chance of you winning that one. The Originals, I mean, they have been slayed out, but this is switched on its head very significantly. The Originals had the numbers in this particular situation. That is all they need. If they can cover their corners correctly, I should say, that's all they need. But very quickly, a positive situation turns into a negative. They deal with Grad in from behind. Los Pepes regain control of the point, and the Originals down to their final 2. Well, that Hail Mary play didn't exactly work out, and now Rafi, I guess, don't feed him streaks is the play here.
Yeah, you'd think so. I agree with the Hail Mary attempt. It's an all or nothing situation, because I'm pretty sure that they will have the attack up next anyway. So this is a situation now for whoever does have the attack, that they've got to be absolutely perfect. And this is where I want to see that extra play thrown in. Maybe go for an early, like, 3-man to A, or just something to try and be special here, because it's so hard to win an attack round here. It's going to be the Originals who have that. So yeah, I don't want to see the predictable here unless they win every single gunfight. I want to see something different. And we're about to find out, Brody, as we head into round 5 of our big swing game that we've been talking so much about.
It's Pepes. Round number 5. Let's see if they can win on the defense. The Originals Playing this one a little bit apprehensively right off the gate here. Fusion's going to draw that first blood versus Fusion. They still want to get a piece of this B point, and as Raffi picks up 2, this now may be possible. As you can see the pressure building up over towards officers. Torres is able to pick up 1. Hawkeye wins that fight. Raffi wins this one in the middle of the map, and now the Originals, they have control of the point. Just 1 more kill, and they wipe them.
Okay, fair enough. Predictable it was, but they won the gunfights at least, and that is the difference maker right there. I'd be very surprised if Los Pepes invest any more into this. So it's going to come down to a massive bloodbath, and the gunfight gets lost by Torres in top green. And all of a sudden, Los Pepes, they're getting over aggressive here. They're over pushing. They don't have the defensive setup, and the entire Originals team are going to go buy a boozer. He does get the kill. Okay, so they have a little bit of presence in brick, the Originals, but just like that, you do have a situation where, again, Pepe's just on. What? Excuse me?
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes these things happen. All right, that's all I'll say. No, we
You're
won't talk
surrounded
about
by
it too
3
much.
players. Bro.
Yeah, you know, well, like I said, man, you know, this is Call of Duty. This is challenges. Anything can happen.
Okay.
Oh, Hawkeye needs something spectacular to happen right now, or is he's dead. There you go. Back to normality here.
Okay. So we now have an opportunity to see the Originals try and the life counts even. They have 1:20, plenty of opportunity to set up, but don't single file this. Hit this together. Hit this with something big, and that's just not the opening that you need.
Raffi's alerted Troy to his presence. He also knows that Torres is over in light, so that call will be made to grab. Los Pepes trying to clutch up here. They're able to win 1 fight over towards Bricks. Abuser wins his fight with Fusion on the point now as well, and Raffi is kind of left last man standing in the back line to cause some issues. Will pick up 1 kill, and that might turn the attention away from the front of the hill for the moment, but again, every single time it feels like the Originals have some form of control, some form of opportunity to get something going. It doesn't work out in their favor.
Yeah, and I think it's always like one individual stepping up. We've seen it before with Fusion, we've seen it with Torres, and Abuza now onto a 5 streak, locking down that satellite side. It is a fortunate place to be, but you feel like teams are getting better at defending it, and right now they aren't defending a damn thing because Abuza is going to hit all 3 full streaks, Brody. 15 seconds. Have a bit of fun. Call them in.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you got 10 seconds here. You might as well call them in. I mean, maybe not, to be fair. It's a bit of a risky play in the hindsight. Raffi and Furious are actually going to pick up 2 here. If they touch this point, this could be huge. Abuser, though! Abuser picks up 2 and shuts it down. Nobody's touching that point. That is Abuser's point. And Los Pepes, they take the swing game in the series. I mean, realistically, Abuser take the swing game in the series.
If Abuzer's my teammate there, I'm sending him $20 PayPal, man. What was that? Look at this. I mean, if the best play cams were allowed to be longer, we're extending this out for another, like, 20 seconds. Goes on an 11 spree at the end. Keeps his streaks in his pocket. Why bother calling in artillery and missiles when you've got that coming out at the end of your weapon anyway? Absolutely huge from him. You see them come through in the big swing game. Originals had a really good go of it, and Raffi breaks 30, had a fantastic map, but it's just not enough. When you're constantly relying on those attack rounds, unfortunately, the objective presence just wasn't enough. Pepe's come out on top in yet another close game. What a series, Brody. What a series we're having.
Oh my word, what a play for an Abuser. 5 in a row there towards the end. If you be fair, if you want to go on a streak, that's the time to do it, right? Defending the point. I will say, guys, before anyone's like, oh, why is that guy getting hyped over Abuser's play? You know, I get that is a pretty good position that Abuser sat in. Obviously, that heady is a rough one if you want to abuse it, as, you know, he did pretty well. But, you know, still, it's a great play at the end of what was a great control. And that means that Los Pepes, off the back of said play, will be now 2-1 up in the series. They go into the hard point, where, of course, again, you know, we can say this basically till the end of time, really. Los Pepes are a very good hard point team. So I'm excited to see how this one turns out, because the Originals, their hard point, I mean, this is, again, it's one of those situations, right, where it's like, Los Pepes aren't just a good hard point team. The Originals are a not so great hardpoint team. You know, they now sit 5-11 in hardpoint after their map 1 loss. They need to pull a very large, I don't know, whatever a positive attribute for a rabbit is, they need to pull out one of those kind of rabbits out of this small, tiny hat. It's going to be a task for sure.
So a hare, basically, right? That's like a big rabbit.
Yeah, I don't know why I
So-
didn't just say hair. Yeah, that's a really good point. But then that's not the phrase, is it? It's not like you pull a hair out of a rabbit or a hair out of a rabbit.
You know what?
I
Let's
give
move
up
on.
today.
Let's move forward with this. Let's move
Sleep
forward.
deprived Brody is not a good
Yeah.
Brody. Okay,
It
that's
is
all I'm
very,
saying.
very warm today, to be fair. It is
is.
baking hot, especially under any sort of lights and around computer equipment, as a lot of the people in chat will know,
Oh,
being
dude.
mostly gamers, I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, this is a thing. By the way, so in between the first
I
series
think my
that we
headset just
casted-
died, by the way.
Okay, I can't hear.
I do
So
apologize. 1 second.
can you still hear me? All right, it's all good. Andy is gone. Andy will sort himself out. That's why you don't use A50s, guys. Use A40s instead. Big brain time. Anyway, while Andy sorts himself out, yeah, as I was saying, for everybody at home, in between the first series that we got to cast and this one, I actually decided to walk away from my setup for like, I don't know, like 10 minutes, just chill outside for like 5 minutes. I don't know, scrolling through Reddit or whatever. And, we're walking back into this room with like 3 monitors, the whole shebang of like, the setup and everything, PC on like God knows what temperature. It is hot. It is really hot sitting here. So yeah, by the way, if I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's just really hot at the moment for Andy and I. Hopefully Andy can figure
Just
himself
a
out with
sec.
his
I
headset.
don't have any audio, I'm afraid. My
Okay, it's all
headset has
good.
died, and it didn't warn me once all day, and then it just suddenly decided to capitulate on me, unfortunately. So I will very quickly wire in some earbuds, I guess, some in-ears.
That's okay.
Well,
It's
I
okay.
will need
Right.
to
Well,
go
while this
and
happens,
find
we
them
will take
and plug
an
them in. So
emergency
give me just a
break.
minute.
We will take an emergency break, guys. We'll be back in just a second. I'm throwing this to the producer real quick to take an emergency break. We'll be back in a second with Andy, hopefully with earbuds. Who knows?
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread,
I can't understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip as pulled you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you closer. It's a long departure. It's a long departure. Before I see you again, before it all makes sense, but I can hold you back. And I still don't understand where it came from, but you're back in with the passion. I'm awake with the flame in a hailstorm. I'm back in, I gotta have it. Everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip has pulled you into me. When I let you go, it just pulled you closer. It's a long departure. It's a long departure.
I can hear you far away. I can see you in the distance. I am living for today. I'm the path of no resistance. If we drift to the horizon, if we let it all go, then will you come with me? Till we are free. If we drift to the horizon, if we let it all go, then will you come with me? I'm gonna make you smile. I'm gonna make you cry.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Call of Duty Challengers community stream here, of course, with the Originals versus Los Pepes, the latter of which is now 2-1 up, and Andy has earbuds, so everything is okay in the world.
Actually, no, it's a brand new, never used pair of A40s, Brody, so we're feeling good. We can still hear everything, which is exactly what we need. Apologies for the headset problems, but we go into this next one with no room for any such errors because both teams are absolutely at each other's throats, and Furious is actually going to start with a straight 3 multi-kill, breaking in P1, and they have spawns for P2, Brody.
Indeed, they do. The Originals having a good start of this game, you'd imagine anyway. We always talk about how hard these spawns for P2 are to break. And, well, Los Pepe is going to try and, I guess, test that theory as you have Torres trying to make his way onto the flank here. Furiously hunting him down and will end up picking that kill. But I think too little too late at this point, right? Because Los Pepes, they've already got themselves a presence over here. And Traudy picks up 2. And that's a big rotation coming in from Los Pepes.
It is. Teams are definitely getting better at breaking this hill the longer it exists, but it is a very, very much so a possible money hill. You want to hold on to those spawns. The fact that Los Pepes are still within touching distance after the first one, then go on to break the second one is only a great momentum builder, and a part of the reason why they are such a good hardpoint team. Grad's going to try and do something, but that's not going to help you. And Fusion here has a big gunfight, actually, and he will fall. So suddenly, they're spawning out.
The Originals flipping this entire hardpoint on its head. It's leaving Abuser all in his Larry, and, well, he'll get taken down. Originals able to find their way back in for the last 25 seconds of time. Los Pepes, though, they still want a slice of this hardpoint pie. They've sent 2 players into post box, and, well, Rafi and Furious quickly dispatched them. So the Originals will get control of that scrap time. Los Pepes, though, I mean, look, they'll be sad that they didn't get the majority of time with that hardpoint, but this time, maybe their next rotation will be different.
Yeah, definitely need a better defensive setup this time around. Oh, Grad actually manages to sneak around and get one in. Unfortunately, he will also take some bullets in the back, so he will fall. It's a long spawn out for a Boozer, and he's going to have to be defended by 3 at the front. Not going to matter, because Traudy is going to get 2, and that's great stuff out of him, because this allows now Pepes to put themselves into a little bit of a position. Rafi, though, could play spoiler.
Could indeed. He's going to pick up 1, has Furious's help. And Los Pepes, I think, is going to be warded off from the hard point for the moment here as the Originals are in for this time. I think one more push realistically out of Los Pepes here before you give this one up and go to the rotation. They currently have favorable spawns for it. Never mind, Torres and Fusion combined for 3. Los Pepes, they want that scrap time. And to be fair, it's basically been given to you at this point. You may as well just go for it and also focus on the rotation while you're at it, because the Originals, they've decided to push for the rotation through old. They actually get gifted some wonderful spawns here in the backline.
And Torres is on a 7, has the artillery. We know how important streaks can be on this map, so that's absolutely huge. Fusion's actually working on new already as well, so what? Oh, nearly wins a gunfight that he had no right to. Torres, I don't know if I agree with that, Brody. Calls them in very early. He's going to clear Originals off for a second, but if his teammates don't win this gunfight, that's a waste.
Okay, he's only going to win 1. Trade to go in favor of the Originals, though. They've still got to deal with 1 threat close by. That's going to be Torres, who, to be fair, to the Originals, they should be able to deal with it pretty quickly, and they do. So the Originals back in for this time here. This has been a pretty close hardpoint overall for the beginning of this game. It's all going to be about this rotation towards the new hardpoint, though. Los Pepes recognize how important it is to break it early on. Statistically speaking, this is the hardest hardpoint to break in the game right now. And that's why the Originals have gone for those spawns. But look at this play from Los Pepes. They recognize, hey, look, pretty early on, we could get more time off the back of this rotation if we go for it. That's exactly what they've done. They've got control. And now it's going to be about the Originals trying to break in for the backline here. But Rafi and Furious quickly deal with them.
Do all that invested from Pepe's to get those backside spawns, and it turns out that they just don't come through anyway because they punch straight. Sorry, Originals punch straight out of the hill and clear it out, and that trade's going to come through, and this is going to allow Originals to set up on, as you called it, that big hill that's super hard to break. You've not got many lines of attack. You really need to get creative, and you feel something winding up, but you need to pull it off perfectly.
Oh, already tries to find his way in. It's going to be Abuser, actually, of course, the hero of the last game, who comes in to pick up 2. Los Pepes will regain control effectively as the dominoes fall off the back of that play. But you feel, at least for the moment, that the damage is done there, really, right, Andy? Because the Originals, they get themselves a solid lead. It will be diminished to about 30 points, but nonetheless, it's a lead.
Yeah, and I feel like there's been multiple moments where Pepe's probably should have like picked up a lot of points and then they collapse a little bit too weakly, or they kind of fumble the bag a bit. They had a streak invested at one point as well, remember? And they're actually going to come out of the first set of rotations behind. So all good so far for the originals, but we go back in. Remember last time they gave up those P2 spawns way too easily, and they clear out the first couple of kills. And as of right now, Pepe's are happy to just continue hitting this from the front.
I mean, they could be happy all they like. It's not working out for them, and this is actually a massive problem overall in this game. I mean, I know it's a little bit early to say it, but realistically speaking, if they don't win some of these rotational gunfights, this could be a great situation for the originals to pull away in this game, especially with the way they're holding this hard point as it currently stands. They have control of P1. They'll walk away from it a second just to make sure that they do hold on to the rotation towards new. Fusion and Torres will combine for 2. Look at this pressure coming in from Los Pepes. Now, they will get this last 20 seconds of scrap time, but it's this rotation I'm more interested in here. The originals know they need to hold on to it. They sent one player all the way up into letterbox. They've got 2 players in the back towards the temple. They know how important this rotation is, and here comes the hit from Los Pepes. It's going to be Fusion. Fusion picks up 3. On a 5 spree now, and Los Pepes, they flipped the script. The originals, they thought they had that.
They did. They really, really set up for this, and that's kind of worrying because if you don't set up for the big hit and it kind of comes about, then you can address the situation in the next time round. But you just lost all the gunfights. They all go the other way. Fusion's working on some streaks here, and if they do hold on to this, then they pull the game into a really nice position for them. Fusion onto 6, onto 7. There's the artillery, and it's grabbed the last one. It comes in, so full set streaks. Hopefully they don't waste them this time, and they're probably about to take the lead. As you said, Brody, script is flipped.
Just keeps on happening in this game, right? Los Pepes and the originals just keep on going back and forth here. It felt for the moment like the originals might have pulled away and given themselves enough of a lead to feel comfortable, but you're never really comfortable, are you, when Fusion is on a 10 spree, has earned streaks. Los Pepes continuing to tear the originals a new one, and Fusion will die on an 11 spree, but nonetheless, I mean, that is just damage done, isn't it, really? Bottom line, full stop on that sentence.
100%. I don't know about pulling up your mini-map ping thing when you're like in the hill, but sure, whatever. He's walked himself onto an 11 streak, and this is a problem now for originals. They need to stop this cycle, stop the bleeding, and manage to put some serious damage on the board. Trades are not gonna matter really when you're not in control, and Hawkey picks up multiple, but one of them turns out to be a teammate, so that's a bad situation for them. They will get a scrap, they will pull it to neck and neck, but Pepe's already in for the next one.
This is a massive rotation from the originals. Realistically, they needed to break that early on. And here's why. Because Los Pepes, right, they have control of this hard point. They have control of the next one as well. And of course, Fusion has those streaks in their back pocket. They are going to be integral to holding not just this next hard point, but if they need it, the one after that. So this needs to be huge on the break here from the originals. They need to kind of squeeze those streaks out of Fusion. But if he doesn't need them, well, this is a problem for the originals.
It is, but the split spawns are going to come in, so this might allow a pinch to happen. The first kills are going to go Furious's way anyway. No pinch needed because he's got them all. Furious did put himself on a 5, will eventually fall. Oh, he's out of ammo, but he pulls out the Diamatti and deals with it. Fusion, I don't know whether he decided to have his Weetabix mid-map or whatever it was. Why are you doing this now, though? Just take a second, man.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's able to bend it anyway. Does it really matter? He's actually going to ping the artillery. That's just going to wall off these players for a second. Should just spam it out now. You have that next hardpoint rotation to go fall back on here if you need it. There it is from Fusion. Now a 1 versus 1 to close it out. The last couple of kills coming in. Abuser closes out this map just like the one before it. The rotation comes through. The players actually are going to contest the time on that last hardpoint there, so they do need to rotate to get the last seconds in. But the bottom line here anyway, Los Pepes, they win the series.
They do, and the crucial moment, obviously, is Fusion just absolutely popping off, drops that 11 spree, gives himself those streaks, and just, we saw for a second there, it was scary for a moment, because for a second I'm thinking, oh, Los Pepes might end up losing a hard point here, which would be absolutely devastating after all the hard work they've done, and everything that we've said about how good they are on hard point compared to the originals. But just when it looked like, oh, this is an important moment, they knocked it up a gear. Fusion goes big. I mean, you can't always rely on that, but when you've got that kind of firepower every now and again in your pocket, that's very possibly why they are one of the best hardpoint teams that we have in this continent right now.
Absolutely, Los Pepes, again, statistically speaking, one of the best hardpoint teams. You say it right there. I'm not sure if that's the case anymore so much. Obviously they've had their losses over the course of time, but most certainly, just the way they performed this series. Obviously, another 2 hardpoint victories to speak of, and what a time to do them as well, because your backs were well and truly against the wall. This is, of course, the lower bracket, and that means they do live to see another round of play. Just one more victory would send them to the next round, of course. But I mean, that's it for us here on the community stream. That's it for us here on the community stream in stage 4, Andy. It's been wonderful casting with you this stage. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Me too. Me too. I was very, very privileged to be given the opportunity to take part in this, especially last stage. But I feel like as things have gone on, I've just enjoyed it more and more and more. And it's always wonderful casting with yourself. It's wonderful sharing some great looks on stream as well with the shirts that we've got going on. But generally speaking, it's just fantastic to see European Call of Duty in the state that it is, and the quality that's coming through. I mean, some of the players that aren't going to be in the later stages, including that wall roster, the boys on originals, and so on and so forth. It just shows how much talent we do possess in Europe.
Yeah, for sure. 3 teams have been eliminated from the competition. We'll have a team. I'm not entirely sure if Amelia Strays versus Mavericks has concluded just yet. Regardless, though, the next match in the qualifier will be streamed not here but on youtube.com/COD Challenges. So make sure you go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Check it out right now. It's the wonderful voices of Bryce, Tun, and Ellen. Will be casting the final match of the knockout stage, and then of course playoffs tomorrow. It all goes down there. Thank you to everyone for tuning in for today's stream. Thank you to Andy for joining me on the casting desk, and thank you to our wonderful production team for being wonderful. We'll be seeing you guys whenever we do the next community stream, which will be qualifiers. We'll see you then.
The night beckons while